Good evening and welcome to Champions League Live for this huge second leg of the round of 16 as Arsenal take on FC Porto. The last time they got to the quarterfinals, Arsenal, they beat this opposition on this grind and they haven't conceded against Porto at the Emirates ever. Tonight, it is a deficit they need to overturn, the Gunners, having lost in the last minute from a Wenderson Galeno goal in the first leg. It is Mikel Arteta's side that have the deficit, the 1-0 deficit that they need to overturn if they want to get to the last 8. Porto, well, their hope is to come here and hold on to what they have. A couple of teams have had to do that against big sides, most crucially last week with Lazio going away to Bayern Munich, and they failed into trying hold on that one. Porto will be hoping they have a different story tonight to write. Also tonight we have another tie in the Champions League. Barcelona and Napoli, two European giants battling it out in Barcelona, and it is 1-1 after the first leg, so a very tight second leg to come in that one. So the winner will be the outright winner of the tie, of course, after drawing in the first leg, but it surely would be advantage Barca. Who knows? We will see. Those are two games tonight. We'll give a live commentary from the Emirates, and also we will be keeping an eye on Barcelona-Napoli as it happens. Now, to the teams for this game tonight at the Emirates Stadium for Arsenal. They start with David Raya in goal after being not allowed to be involved against his parent club on Saturday in Arsenal's 2-1 win over Brentford. He comes back into the goal. A back four of Ben White, William Saliba, Gabriel and Jakub Kivior in defence. Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard the captain, and Jorginho make up the midfield three for Arsenal, with a front three of Bukayo Saka, Leandro Trossard and Kai Havertz, who scored the winner against Brentford at the weekend, leads the line tonight for the Gunners. On the bench, Ramsdale, Hines, Zinchenko, Cedric, Tomiyasu, Smith Rowe, Elneny, Vieira, Partey, Nelson, Nketiah and Jesus. Stacked with quality off the bench, Arsenal. For Porto, and they name an unchanged side to the first leg win over Arsenal. They would start with Diogo Costa in goal, a back four of João Mario, Pepe, who captains the side tonight, Otavio and Wendell in a back four, a midfield of Alan Varela and Nico Gonzalez alongside another Pepe in attacking midfield, with a front three of Francisco Conceição, Wenderson Galeno, who got the winner in the first leg, all led by Evanilson in centre forward. On the bench for them tonight is Ramos, Cardosa, Sanchez, Pedro, Grujic, Jaime, Estequillo, Baro, Martinez, Namaso, Taremi and Borges. One huge name on that bench for Porto tonight is Taremi. Mehdi Taremi, their main man, on the bench tonight after being out with injury in the first leg. And who knows, he might have a significant part to play tonight if Porto are going to progress to the quarterfinals here at a rowdy and rampant Emirates Stadium. Mikel Arteta called for the Gunners, the supporting Gunners, to bring their noise, to kick every ball with them and use their positivity and their noise to carry his team over the line. And they will have 90 minutes, Arsenal, to try and score. They couldn't get a shot on target against Porto in the first leg. They need at least one of those, and maybe one of them to hit the back of the net if they want to try at any attempt of progressing. And they know how to stop a side that can really hold firm. Brentford defended excellently well against Arsenal at the weekend in that Premier League tie that brought Arsenal to the top of the Premier League table, and they fought ever so hard. Brentford got back into the game from a goalkeeping mistake. Of course, the goalkeeper involved in that one, Aaron Ramsdale, who's on the bench tonight, of course. David Raya wasn't allowed to be involved, but that was how Brentford got back in, and Arsenal attacked them chance after chance, force after force in the second half of that game in the weekend, and they got the result that they so needed. So they know how to break down a strong and well-structured defence, and they'll need to do so tonight. We'll see how Arsenal try and approach this one, because they were a bit confused in the first leg. I mean, it was the point I'd made that they didn't look like the Arsenal that we've come to know under Mikel Arteta in that first leg. They were more like they were trying to hold on to something when they hadn't scored. They'd got nothing in the game. It was 0-0, and it just looked like Arsenal were happy for it to be 0-0 because they felt, we'll get 0-0 here and we'll take it home and we'll win. And they got punished for it, really, in the end. A last-minute cracking goal by Wenderson Galeno, but indeed worthy of it, Porto, because they showed more desire to win the game in the first leg, to be honest, than Arsenal. Here's Saliba. White tries to turn it round the corner, but it bounces back to Saliba, who lifts it over the top. Havertz had made the run, but too much on that one from Saliba, straight through to Diogo Costa in the Porto goal. Also tonight, we're keeping an eye on one championship game from the AFL Championship, Birmingham against Middlesbrough, for you this evening. As we did last week, keeping you up to date with all of those games in the AFL Championship. There's only one tonight, so not much to worry about there. Free kick here, and Jorginho, the man winning it for Arsenal. Just going up to win a header against Evanilson. And Evanilson did get his head to it, but he did get the push in the back of Jorginho in the process, so it will be a free kick to the Gunners. And of course Porto, and I mean, I went through a lot of stats in the first leg, a lot of interesting stats as well, and I talked about Porto and their form in this competition and how they have gone out twice from this stage to eventual winners of the competition. So if Arsenal do put them out, that could be a good omen. Oh, Ben White! Ball over the bar. Header over the bar from Ben White. Delivery from the left-hand side. Just see it again. It's Saka carries the ball forward. The referee plays advantage after Saka's taken down. Rice plays it out to the left-hand side to find Trossard, who just takes on his man, chips the ball up to the back post, and Ben White got up there above two of the Porto players and got his head on it, but could only head it over the bar. So an early opportunity, which gets a round of applause from the Arsenal manager, Mikel Arteta. And that will be exactly the way Arsenal will want to play this game. At their tempo, at their pace, and with them in control. And the thing is, the longer that it takes for an opening goal for Arsenal, of course, the more belief that will grow in Porto and the more doubt that will grow in Arsenal. And that's why an early goal would be absolutely priceless for the Gunners at this stage, to get them back on level terms. I mean, we've seen it with Bayern Munich in that game last week that I was watching, where they were 1-0 down against Lazio, and they got an early goal, and it really gave them that belief and energy that they could go on and complete this comeback. They actually got two before half-time, which gave them the lead overall. But here's a chance for Porto from the left. Throw in there by Galeno, but it's headed away by the Gunners. And all the way back, though, from Porto to their keeper, Diogo Costa. And Porto themselves, since beating Arsenal in that first leg, have been unbeaten in the in their four competitions since the first leg. One in the cup, two in different cups, and three in the league and one in the cup as well, and kept a clean sheet in their last two games, 5-0 and 3-0 wins over Benfica and Portimonense. So they know how to score goals, Porto. Very different opposition, let's not forget, and away from home. But being in good form, you will carry that confidence. Porto now unbeaten in all of their last 6 games in all competitions. Their last defeat was against Arauca in the league back in February, but that is their only defeat of 2024, Porto, so they know how to get results. They know how to eke out points, but it's not about points tonight, it's about progression and holding on to that aggregate scoreline, that goal that means ever so much to them. And they will defend with their lives. Here's Pepe, who is the captain at the right old age of 41. Pepe to Wendell. Ball over the top, looking for the run of a Van Alsten, but it actually switched out to the right-hand side, and on running to it was João Mario, but well covered by Trossard, who got back in cover and got the ball away out of danger. But there will be a free kick here, actually, for Porto. Kai Havertz deemed to have handled the ball there. Yeah, he used his arm to bring the ball down. That's the good decision by the official, the referee. The referee this evening, Clément Turpin of France. It's of course no skin in the game for him, as of course is UEFA kind of regulation. Here's a chance for Porto, try and whip a ball in. Although they've gone short. Maybe trying to work an angle, chipped over the top. Well defended. And Pepe does really well to deny Arsenal any chance of a breakaway. And Porto back in possession. Pretty good start from Porto, to be honest. It's not been that kind of frantic, dominant, overpowering start that we probably expected from an Arsenal point of view, where they wanted to just suffocate Porto, hold on to the ball and just kind of strangle the Porto defence into succumbing. But so far, Porto have been quite good, started quite well. And we'll see, of course, how that continues throughout the 90 minutes, of course. It's all well and good defending for 8.5 minutes, but to defend for a lot longer than that tonight. And probably for longer spells as well, because Arsenal will have their dominant periods in this game. Throw in there, long ball from Ben White, bouncing, but will bounce straight back out, and will be a Porto throw, which they're in no hurry to take. Still goalless in the other game between Barcelona and Napoli in Barca. About 9 minutes gone on that one, and of course 1-1 from the first leg. So a draw tonight on the night would send us to extra time and penalties in that one, and whoever wins will progress. A goal, by the way, in that championship game for you tonight, Birmingham against Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough have taken the lead. Riley McGree with the goal about 6 minutes ago to give Middlesbrough a 1-0 lead. Middlesbrough, at this moment in time, I don't think they're making a massive claim for playoffs, but it's not out of the question. Middlesbrough have an early lead against Birmingham, who themselves are threatened by relegation. 1-0 to the visitors in that one. But still goalless in our two Champions League games. We're around about the 10-minute mark of these second legs of the round of 16 ties. And of course, don't forget the quarter-final draw. Of course, once all these second legs conclude, although hold on, Martin Odegaard's just stolen it away from Wendell. Odegaard chips it to the back post. Pepe got up. Rice actually was lurking. Trossard, ball comes in, cleared away again by Porto. That was good pressing from Odegaard. Realised that they're a bit slow on the ball, Porto. Just a bit casual. And Odegaard just came and nicked the ball away and did well to put pressure on the defence. But to no avail just yet. But that will get the crowd up and certainly give Arsenal confidence to this evening. Raya. Rice. Saliba under pressure. Does just enough to hit the ball off Wenison Galeno and win the throw-in on the far right-hand side. White. Gets the ball back from the throw-in, gives it off to Saka, who plays it to Ødegaard. Now to Gabriel. Nice football from Arsenal. Rice to Kivior. Looking for the run of Trossard. Kivior's ball forward, still being chased by Trossard, and Pepe had it covered. And as cool as you like. Lots of experience, no lack of experience for him. And there's a foul there. Declan Rice committing that foul. João Mario. Yeah. Just a late challenge from the Arsenal midfielder. And it is a free kick to Porto. That is also another kind of aspect that Porto need to kind of hone in on this evening. Is breaking up the play. Not allowing Arsenal to get into a rhythm in attack. Breaking up the play. Slowing the tempo. All those dirty tactics that you know of, going away from home and making it difficult for the home team. It's not just about defending well. It's about stopping them from doing the things that they want to do. And intercepting when they need to, but not overcommitting as they did there. And Saka picks up the ball on the right flank. Charging through. Bukayo Saka takes it on his left. Oh, and the keeper bundled it. But luckily for him, it didn't find a way past him. Saka picks it back up. Ødegaard. Jorginho through the lines. Ødegaard running through, and bodies flying at him. And they just got it behind Porto. Last ditch, and it will be a corner. That was all created by poor goalkeeping from Diogo Costa. Saka cuts inside, takes the shot with his left, and Costa's just grab it. But what he does is he bundles it and keeps the pressure on his team. And that gives Arsenal even more confidence. They now have a corner. Arsenal. Saka over to take. Clomel up and the referee just sorting a few things out in the box before he allows Arsenal to take this corner. As we're ready to go. Gets the signal from the referee, and Saka goes short to Trossard. Back to Saka. Chips it back. Ødegaard with his left-footed shot, but just wide and hit the outside of the netting. But that was well rehearsed from Arsenal. They knew exactly what they were doing there. 1-2 touch football. And the cut back to Ødegaard, who was waiting in space. And just went wide of the post. For a goal kick to Porto. Long ball forward. Headed away by Saliba, but brought down in midfield by Porto. Here's Galeno on the left. Nowhere to go, but surrounded by Arsenal bodies, but they can't keep it in play, and Porto will get a throw in. Around about the halfway line. So 14 minutes gone, 0-0. Porto lead by a goal to nil on aggregate. Mikel Arteta felt that the ball had come in and went straight back out from the throw-in, but officials didn't agree, and Porto have another throw-in. A bit further forward, but they've gone deeper, and again that press. It's Otavio that's under pressure, and he just has to fire it clear. That's good control by Gabriel. Lovely reverse ball by Trossard. Finds Rice, breaking out to the left. Down the left flank is Rice. Rice with a cut back. Just not enough to reach Trossard, and Porto can get it away. And João Mario, trying to carry it away, gives it away to Rice. Trossard chops away. Trossard with a delivery. Saka! Header away from goal, actually. Didn't get the clean connection on it that he would have wanted, Saka. But again, Arsenal in the mood. You can see it. They're growing and they're building. And Porto at the moment clinging on. They just need to ride this difficult spell, Porto. Another ball come in there, and Saka just hit it with the wrong side of his head. And unfortunately, it didn't find the back of the net there for Arsenal. But getting closer. They've already had 4 shots, 1 on target. And had less possession of the ball, actually, in the early stages. 48% to Porto's 52%. Although caught in possession there are Arsenal, and the shot from distance from Evanilson is not too far away of the right post. See this again, it's just Silly from Saliba, just heads it. And well won by Evanilson. Beats past Jorginho. Uses his left foot from distance. Trying to curl it to the far corner. And it just goes wide. But that is so close. But it's all Arsenal's mistake, really, it comes from. Saliba just heads the ball into the danger zone in the middle. And it's just a bit naive, really, to expect that Porto wouldn't have went for that ball, and they did, and they won it, and almost had a good chance from it. Arsenal have a throw-in on the right. Goal in our other game between Barcelona and Napoli. It's 1-1 on aggregates, but it is 0-0 no longer on the night because Barca have taken an early lead in that one. Barcelona 1, Napoli 0, which means Barca will, of course, if it stays that way, will progress on the night. Fermin Lopez with the first goal for Barcelona. Still goalless here. But here comes Odegaard. Dispossessed. That's a good challenge by Varela. And he done a great job of that. Breaking up the play in midfield in the first leg. Alan Varela. Especially against a maestro in Martin Odegaard. And Odegaard there trying to feed it wide to White, but cut out by Otavio. Galeno trying to get them forward, but Porto crowded out again. There will be a free kick here to Arsenal. With a foul on Jorginho from Evanilson. Yeah, he comes sliding in there, Evanilson, and doesn't get any of the ball. And Jorginho won a free kick for Arsenal. Well, it didn't take long, but Barca have got even better. From 1 up to now 2 up. Within the space of a couple of minutes, Barcelona have taken full control of their tie. And they are in the driving seat at the moment. Their second goal of the night. They lead by 3-1 on aggregate. So they have the 2-goal lead. And João Cancelo with the second goal to double Barcelona's lead on the night. So 2-0 to Barca. So 3-1 on aggregate in that one. Still 0-0 here and 1-0 to Porto on aggregate. But Arsenal have a free kick on the right-hand side. Rice, who's been taking the set pieces as of recently, is up over it again. Rice, right-footed. Whip delivery, and the shot is steered wide by Gabriel, but the offside flag was up in any case. Look at Porto. This is incredible. It's very risky, but it's well worked. They have a high line to begin with. Arsenal players all offside, trying to catch the Porto players out. And Porto just step up. They don't go deeper. They all step up, and every single Arsenal player in there is in an offside position. Really well worked defensive kind of structure from that free kick. And that's the advantages of playing a high line in those positions. They can catch you out, but you can very easily catch the opposition offside. Nice quick footwork from Porto in the middle, and it's cut out there. It was Pepe, the younger Pepe, that was battling. And again, there was a battle over there on the far right. It was Trossard and João Mario. And Trossard went down, felt a bit of contact, and went down and won the free kick. 20 minutes gone here at the Emirates Stadium. Arsenal 0, Porto 0. And Arsenal have, they've been the better side in terms of their attacking outlet. But let's not be surprised by that. That wasn't to be a shock tonight. Arsenal were going to dominate the attacking displays, and it's all about how Porto can disrupt that. And so far, they've done a decent job, the visiting side. Gabriel, Trossard, down the left flank, Kivior, but couldn't find Trossard back in field, and nicked away by the younger Pepe, and he wins a free kick off Jorginho. Well, let's talk about for a moment the winner, the man who won the game in the previous, the first leg. He's been in a rampant amount of incredible run of form. And if you take into account his last his last six appearances, he has scored an incredible 6 goals. He's only failed to score in 1 game out of those 6, and he's got 3 assists, 9 goal involvements in 6 games, including 2 goals in a 5-0 win over Benfica, and of course the winning goal in the first leg. He's in wonderful form. He's scored 3 in his last 2 and has 5 goal involvements in those last 2 games, so he's in a wonderful amount of form. And here come Porto, ball into the box, Evan Nielsen! Big save by Raya. And they won it back again, Porto. Ball come in, flicked on by Evan Nielsen. Still alive, shot from distance, blocked. That was good again from Porto. It was Gonzalez that had the final shot, but we see it again. It's Evan Nielsen on the turn. Right-footed strike. Big left hand from David Raya. But it's not just about Porto holding on to a lead. If they get it even better, that would be incredible. As they come forward again, and Evan Nielsen won the cutback, but cleared away by Arsenal. But it's a moment. Porto are the confident side. Fantastic. And despite Arsenal's home advantage and that obvious kind of amount of quality that Arsenal have, Porto have a lot of quality too, and we saw that displayed in the first leg. And it was a shock to a lot of us, because let's be honest, a lot of us don't watch Porto on a week-to-week basis. But the quality of players that they have in the side, and they're well structured, they're well kind of choreographed, and well kind of drilled under a good manager in Sergio Conceição. So it's not that he's a half-decent manager, he's a pretty good manager in is Conceição. But Porto, that's the right idea. You know, a lot of people say coming into this one, sit deep, defend deep, hold on, allow Arsenal to have the ball and hope that you can keep a clean sheet. It's getting to the point now where even if you do that, there's no guarantees whatsoever that you'll get a clean sheet because of how good Arsenal are in attack. So you may as well have a go at least when the time is right. And now the time is right for them because they're working it well. They're in a good moment themselves. They're in good form. And they're feeling it in the groove. They grew into the game. And that's pretty well deserved. Well, that ball forward. It's not a great touch by Galeno there. Straight out of play for a goal kick to Arsenal. Making those runs in behind though, which will be another interesting factor, of course, with Arsenal playing that high line. It'd be interesting to see how Porto trying to kind of examine that and break that down and try and go over the top, because they do have pacey players in behind, the likes of a Galeno, a Conceição, a Pepe and an Evan Nielsen, that have that pace that can penetrate the Arsenal defence, that aren't impenetrable, although saying that, they have an incredible defensive record, the best defensive side in the Premier League this season, and across Europe one of the best defensive sides in the league and in the whole of Europe really this season. The stats at the moment pretty even on that front after 25 minutes. Arsenal have had 5 shots, Porto have had 4. Both have had a shot on target, and the possession is pretty even as well. 52% for Arsenal, 48% for Porto. So a fairly even game so far. Here's Ben White. Nowhere to go forward. Goes back to Saliba. Over the top. White had continued the run down the right flank. Battling, but really well battled by Wendell. And he done well, but the ball out from Otavio was a bit wayward. And Arsenal get the throw in, which they take quickly. Havertz battling to keep it. Saka on the right. He's got bodies ahead of him. Can't find them. Has to go back to Gabriel. Kivior. And has to go all the way back to David Raya. Good press by Porto there. See Arsenal away, but they go long. Header by Mario. Picked up by Odegaard. Now Rice. Jorginho. Space in the middle. Jorginho drifts it out to the left. Finds Trossard. Takes his right foot past him. Goes on the left. Chips one across, and Rice with a header. But headed wide. Tried to repeat what he did at the weekend. And couldn't carry it past Costa. Couldn't carry it on target. So far wide of that left post. Any connection would have been, if he had got it on target, it would have been unbelievable. But he had Pepe in his way. And Rice, of course, who scored a header against Brentford on Saturday to open the scoring for Arsenal in that game. He wanted to repeat. Not the same outcome, though, that time round. Back to Saliba for Arsenal. Raya. To Gabriel. And Porto pressing very high here. Arsenal play out of it. Here's Kivior, who comes in field. Jorginho spreads it to the right. Finds Ben White. He's got Saka ahead of him. Takes that option. Saka on the right flank. Coming back against Wendell. And Wendell just holds off Bukayo Saka there, who falls to the floor, and Wendell wins his side a goal kick. Good defending by Wendell. Knows what he has to do. Get physical with Saka. Not too physical that he gives away a free kick, but it's really strong defending by the left back. Otavio gets the ball from Costa. Hits it long. Luckily, he gets away with that one because it hit an Arsenal player. And now Porto have spread it wide. Mario on the right flank. He's got runners ahead of him. Mario. Back to Varela. Now Conceição. Left-footed delivery. Conceição, a deep one. Headed across goal and into the mix. But Evan Nielsen was lurking, but Raya got there ahead of him. Really well worked again. Conceição with the delivery. Whip ball to the back post. And Galeno heads it across the box. And Evan Nielsen was lurking. But Raya got there ahead of him. And well worked. And here come Arsenal. But that's a fantastic header by Pepe defensively to get it clear. See this again. It's a chip ball by White from the right hand side. He's going for a back post to try and find Havertz. And Pepe, the elder statesman, gets there ahead of everyone else and heads it behind for a goal, for a corner. Fantastic commitment from the man who has vast experience. Even that's an understatement to say he has vast experience, but they now have to defend a corner. Porto. Competitive game. This is what we love to see in the Champions League. Left-sided corner for Arsenal. Rice to take. Right-footed it will be in. Swinging corner. Whipped in. Headed on and bouncing around. And the flick on from the near post actually helped out Porto because there was a lot of Arsenal bodies at that front post, and João Mario can get the chance to clear it. Arsenal wanted to take a throw in quickly, but there was 2 balls on the pitch, so they'll have to retake that. As we hit the 30-minute mark, the half-hour mark. Arsenal 0, Porto 0 on the night. Porto leading by that 1-0 on aggregate. And chances at both ends, which is exactly what we want to see. We don't want to see a one-sided game. We want to see a classic. Although Nico Gonzalez overzealous there and takes down Bukayo Saka and gives Arsenal a free kick. They wanted to take that one quickly, but the referee, Clement Turpin, not allowing that. Yeah, the referee was just walking over to check on Saka. And Arsenal thought they were trying to be cute. And White taking it quickly. But yeah, there's a fair to the referee. There's been another goal in Barcelona. And if it's for Barca, it's game over. But if it's for Napoli, it's game back on. And luckily, it is for Napoli. The game is back on. So 2-1 in Barcelona. It's 3-2 on aggregate. And Amir Rahmani with the goal for Napoli to give them a goal back in the game and get them back in the tie. 3-2 on aggregate, 2-1 on the night. As Arsenal take this free kick, Odegaard with a deep delivery. And Costa had come for it, but luckily a defender got there ahead of him and cleared it away. Only as far as Saka, who wins a corner. Not convincing goalkeeping that from Diogo Costa. And the home crowd getting behind their team. But there's a man down for Porto here, which is riling up the Arsenal crowd. Is it Wendell? It is. It's Wendell, the left back, who went down, but he's getting back to his feet. Some of the Arsenal players are not happy. The Arsenal fans are certainly not happy. I mean, he did get a slight hit in the face by the ball, but there's not much power in that. And he's back to his feet and is okay. Now Saka can take this corner on the right-hand side. Right-footed, or right-sided corner. Left-footed in swinging corner for Saka to come. All at the back post. Lifts it in and headed clear at the front post by Porto. Will be an Arsenal throw. Saka takes the throw in and trying to play it in behind, but Diogo Costa was quick and came running out to gather to take any pressure away from his defenders. But if they get to half-time, Porto, and it's goalless, they will certainly have the right to believe, although they'll still have another whole half of football, but they have that one goal lead to hold on to. They do have something to fight for, of course. They have it in their hands at the moment. Porto, it's all to do for Arsenal. That's the difference. Throw into Porto on the left-hand side, which they're taking their time with again, as you would expect. When Wendell to take, trying to steal a few yards, throws it down the line to Galeno, battling with Saliba, and Saka's upended, and Porto come away with the ball, and charging through was Pepe, but he run into a few Arsenal bodies, and Arsenal have it back. Rice. He's breaking down the left, just overhit the ball to Trossard, but Trossard overrun it, and Porto win it back. Here's Conceição. Now to Mario. The Arsenal fans weren't happy that they didn't get a free kick there, but their referee, I think, got the right decision. And Porto coming forward have to go all the way back again. Just keep a hold of the ball. Costa. Otavio. Fires it forward. Flicked on by Evan Nielsen. Galeno in search for the ball, but the flag was up against him. And an offside given against Porto, so a free kick to Arsenal. With around 10 minutes of the first half to go. Arsenal 0, Porto 0. Porto leading by the 1-0 on aggregate. As we enter the second leg. Of course, as I said, Porto, the last 2 times they were put out of this stage of the Champions League, the team they were put out by went on to win the competition, so Arsenal hoping that's a good omen for them. But Arsenal, let's not forget, the last time they were put out at this stage of the competition was against Porto, so they do have bad memories against the Portuguese side. Remember, it's been 14 years since Arsenal progressed past the round of 16 in the Champions League back in 2010. So it's a distant memory for the probably a whole generation of Arsenal fans, really. The last time they got past this round and into the last eights. Gabriel holding firm against Pepe. Porto will have a throw in though. That's the thing. Porto have done really well in that front of not allowing Arsenal to grab the game by the scruff of the neck and take full control. Porto have stayed in it, stayed competitive, and not only just defended well, but actually attacked well at the same time. That's why I'm sure they probably do have more belief at this moment. The fact that they haven't looked overrun in the game as of yet. Of course, don't forget, of course, they do have Taremi on the bench. Porto returning from injury. So could be a massive factor if they do get to the late stages of this game and still very much in the tie. He could be a massive player. Of course, Arsenal stacked on the bench. Lots of top quality players that can come on and change the game for the Gunners if it doesn't go their way towards the latter stages. But still a long way to go. Here's Havertz. Steals the ball away from Pepe. Finds it to Trossard. Back in field to Jorginho. Rice. Right to the left hand side to Kivior. Back to Rice. Across to Saliba. Now White. Saliba. Quick footwork. Quick passing, but that was a bit much from Ben White, and he showed too much to Alan Varela, and Porto won the ball. And there will be a yellow card coming here for William Saliba for a challenge. We'll see the replay of it, and the yellow card comes the way of the Arsenal centre-back, but we'll see this again. He's just pulling back on Galeno. Yeah, of course it is. He's got full grip of him. And that is a yellow card for the Arsenal centre-back. This is not a player that Arsenal would have wanted to have booked, especially that position of centre-back, because he cannot, he has to tread a fine line now, William Saliba, but no doubts that he will surely, from what we've seen from him. Again, those types of things will give Porto more belief. Those types of situations when they are winning free kicks and getting Arsenal players booked for those challenges. They're not making it an easy kind of affair for Arsenal. They are making it more difficult. They're getting in their faces and not allowing them to have it all their own way. That's exactly what you need to be doing in this competition, away from home. In the knockout stages, Trossard dispossessed by João Mario, who breaks forward for Porto into lovely bit of space. Mario looking for the wide option, but Conceição didn't follow him. And the ball straight back to Arsenal, but lovely solo play by João Mario to win the ball and get Porto on the front foot. Just unfortunately wasn't on the same page, him and Francisco Conceição. Saliba. Ball over the top, trying to test the Porto defence. The ball will bounce back to Odegaard. Now Trossard back in field to his captain, Martin Odegaard. Threads it through the lines. It's a lovely ball. Trossard! That's the goal they've been dreaming of, Arsenal. Beautiful from their captain, Martin Odegaard, to thread it through for Trossard, who slots it in the bottom corner. And the Emirates is jubilant, and they're back in the tie. They lead on the night, and they're level on aggregate. It's a lovely move from Arsenal. Really good ball over the top, confuses the Porto defence. He just can't get back into shape in time, and Odegaard linking up with Trossard. He gets the ball back. Trossard makes the run, skips away from his two challenges, Odegaard, and threads a lovely ball through the lines to find Trossard on the run. And Leandro Trossard does all the rest, takes a touch with his right and targets the bottom right corner from a tight angle. That's a really nice finish by the Belgian into the far corner. And Arsenal lead on the night and are level on aggregate. Now, you would be a brave person to bet against Arsenal completing that full comeback. But a long, long way to go yet. Arsenal 1, Porto 0, 1-1 on aggregate. And the quality of finish from Leandro Trossard is beautiful. And wonderful. And that's exactly what Arsenal needed just before half-time. Because if it had got to half-time and nothing had happened in the first half on the night, Arsenal would have felt a bit deflated, but they've truly been lifted by that goal monumentally. But here come Porto looking for a response, and the shot from distance from Francisco Conceição is dragged wide for a goal kick. So two very tight ties in the round of 16 in the Champions League. Barcelona 2, Napoli 1. Barca lead by 3-2 on aggregate, so 1 goal in it there. And no difference in the aggregate scoreline between Arsenal and Porto. Arsenal 1 up on the night, and it's level on aggregate over the two legs. So it's anybody's guess at this stage which two of the four teams will be in the last 8. But that's a lovely goal by Leandro Trossard. Absolutely sensational goal. Gets a round of applause from his manager, as it should. It's top quality finish on the biggest of stages. And a very emotional Arsenal crowd. Because that is a huge goal, especially before half-time. And you would not be surprised, I wouldn't be surprised if Porto, just sneaking into their minds, if we can hold this to half-time, we could do something tonight. And one lapse of concentration, one confusing ball that Arsenal just force it up the middle. One long ball, Porto get themselves in a muddle. They can't rearrange themselves, get them into the shape that's done them so well in the first half. And they're punished by one of the smoothest operators in the Premier, in Europe this season, in Martin Odegaard, who plays a sensational ball in to Leandro Trossard, who finishes wonderfully. It was a top quality goal. Top quality goal from Arsenal. But they know the job isn't done yet. They do still need another goal. They do have to win by 2 goals to win the tie outright. Of course, if it stays as it is, it will be going to extra time and penalties, but a long way from that yet. Porto want to respond though. Wenderson Galeno with the throw in on the left hand side to come. Long throw in. Bouncing around. Flicked on by Porto. Bodies getting in the mix, and Arsenal just fire it away anywhere that they can away from danger. And Pepe, actually, the younger Pepe, has gone down in the box. Don't know what he's trying to claim, but it's got Rice and Otavio squaring up. And this is just a bit silly. I mean, there's no need for this. Martin Odegaard just calming his players down, especially Declan Rice. And this is a massive important that they don't get themselves booked for unnecessary reasons, any of the players tonight. But there is an issue here for the younger of the two Pepes. So he's getting a bit of treatment, so we will have a bit of a delay. We do have 1 added minute to play at the end of the 45, but it's his own man. Yeah. It's actually the challenge. Pepe, what ended up coming to him on the ground, he was challenged by his own man. As Nico Gonzalez tried to go with his right leg, and he actually kicked into the back of Pepe, which has the Porto man down and receiving treatment. So in the other game, as I mentioned, it is 2-1 to Barcelona. They took a 2-goal lead in that one, Barca. Fermin Lopez and João Cancelo with the 2 goals to give them a 2-goal lead before Anir Ramani got Napoli back into the game. So 2-1 on the night, 3-2 to Barcelona on aggregate. As I mentioned, whoever wins the game tonight on the night wins the tie. If it ends in a draw on the night, it will be going to extra time and penalties because the aggregate scoreline was 1-1, a level scoreline after the first leg. Right, Pepe is back to his feet after receiving a bit of treatment, so he will be going to the sidelines momentarily. And we've played 2 minutes over the 45. It's up to the referee now how long more we play of this first half. Wouldn't say very much, but you never know. Oh, that's a late challenge. Otavio getting out his frustration there, and it's Kai Havertz, the man that's went down. It's got a bit scrappy last moment or two. It's actually Varela and Otavio. It's like a sandwich that Kai Havertz is caught in. He's got hit from both sides. And that is a painful one, which sees Havertz down for the moment, but he should be okay to get back to his feet. And a scrappy end to the first half here. He's back to his feet quite quickly, so there's no further kind of concern there, surely. Hopefully for him, anyway, from an Arsenal point of view. And David Raya will take this free kick, and this surely probably be the last action of the half, I would say. Not too far off. There we are. And that is the half-time whistle. And at half-time, it is Arsenal who lead on the night. After that goal from Leandro Trossard, a wonderful goal set up by their captain Odegaard and finished by Leandro Trossard to get Arsenal back level in the tie and with a 1-goal lead on the night. Still a long way to go, but Arsenal in the ascendancy at half-time. Analysis and a look ahead to the second half in just a couple minutes. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Champions League Live. Half-time at the Emirates. It is Arsenal 1, Porto 0 on the night, and it is a 1-1 on aggregate, with a quarter of the tie still to go. At half-time as well in Barcelona this evening, in the other tie between Barcelona and Napoli, it is Barca who lead by 2-1. They also lead by 1 goal on. They lead by 1 goal on aggregate as well, by 3-2. So, still very tight, and that one could go either way, as it could here at the Emirates, where Arsenal are leading by a goal to nil on the night. But of course, it is still 1-1 on aggregate, so still a very tight affair. Two more Champions League ties still to come from the round of 16s. From the round of 16 second legs, Atletico Madrid have a one-goal deficit that they have to overturn tomorrow as they welcome Inter Milan, who beat them by a goal to nil in the first leg, and another 1-1 draw from the first leg. Borussia Dortmund and PSV Eindhoven at Signal Iduna Park as Dortmund look to progress to join their German counterparts Bayern Munich in the last eight. Or can PSV become the sole Dutch side to get to the quarter-final stages? We will find out tomorrow night in those two ties, but we already know four of our quarter-finalists halfway through that point. Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester City and Real Madrid. So no shocks from those first four ties. In terms of the fact that the big teams, the traditional big teams that did progress in the end fairly comfortably. Real Madrid actually had the biggest scare of any of the four teams in those ties that went through. Man City pretty comfortable, PSG pretty comfortable on aggregate as well. 4-1, 6-2, Man City won on aggregate, and Bayern Munich won by 3-1 on aggregate in the end after a 3-0 win at home in the second leg. So fairly comfortable, but Real Madrid had to eke out a 1-1 draw. They did lead by 1-0 going into that, so that meant that a draw would have been enough, and it was enough in the end against RB Leipzig to progress to the quarter-finals, which, by the way, the draw is this Friday morning, 11 o'clock in the UK, 12 noon East European time, of course. The draw for the quarterfinals, and then the draw for the semi-finals and final as well at the same time, to figure out kind of a bit of administrative reasons, things like who will play each other in the semi-finals, and also then who will be the designated home side for the final, of course, which is on the 1st of June at Wembley Stadium, of course. And those quarterfinals, by the way, which we will find out who will play who this Friday morning. The quarterfinals get underway from the 9th of April, and you can watch them all live here on LFS with me, Kevin Ferris, on those watch-along commentaries, right the way through to the final at Wembley on the 1st of June of this year. But the quarterfinals start on the 9th of April, the 9th and 10th of April, and the 16th and 17th of April for the second legs. So a big month there, and those quarterfinals to come as well over April. The second half underway in our championship game tonight. We're watching between Birmingham and Middlesbrough. The only championship game of the night. Middlesbrough lead by 1-0. Riley McGree with the goal in the first half, giving Middlesbrough a 1-goal lead in that one for you tonight. I'm unable to see what the live table is, which is frustrating because I want to see what that actually would mean. It's not showing at this moment in time, but nevertheless, Middlesbrough do lead by that 1-0. Did I get it working? I have got it working. That win for Middlesbrough would mean they would move up to 9th in the championship table, so they would move up 2 places in the table, and they would be just 5 points off the playoff places. Which they got to last season, remember. They were in the playoffs last season, Middlesbrough, and put out at the semi-final stage of the playoffs last season, but they want to get back to that, and they'll be in a good chance of doing that towards the end of the season with 9 games to go in the championship. Right, so they lead by 1-0. Arsenal lead by 1-0, and Barca lead by a narrow 1-goal lead they have, but they lead by 2-1 at half-time. And at the Emirates, really, I would say at times in that first half, despite Arsenal having the lead at half-time, I wouldn't say that they commanded the game, that they were dominant or they were in full control. I don't think they were. At times, Porto actually found a way to stop them. They found a way to press them high, and that was not what we're expecting coming into this game. But it's very well worked from Porto. I mean, there's one that I remember, the main one, where Saliba just headed the ball from a Porto clearance. He headed it down into midfield, and Evan Nielsen just beats past Jorginho and causes an issue, creates something from nothing. And it all comes from a bit of high pressing from Porto and a bit of naivety, really, a bit of panic from William Saliba, really. No need to head the ball, but he did, and it kind of put Arsenal in a bit of a sticky patch, really almost catching them out, and they would have found themselves 1-0 down on the night and could have been even worse on aggregate, of course. But they didn't, and they had one or two chances as well before the goal. Arsenal themselves, a couple of opportunities. Saka had one as well. There was a Rice header as well. So there was a couple of good opportunities before they did find the net, Arsenal. But it all came from a long ball themselves. They fired the ball long. Porto got in a bit of a muddle. Wendell came in, failed to try and kick it away. He kind of mishit it, and the Porto defence just couldn't get themselves back into the right shape. They got a bit. Some were coming for the ball, some were dropping deep. They were a bit in a muddle, and Martin Odegaard made the most of it. Threaded the ball through beautifully. Absolutely wonderful how he threaded that ball through, considering he was riding he rode two challenges in the process and lost his balance as well, and still played that ball perfectly onto the foot of Trossard. Took a touch with his right to just set up the shot, and he just fired it with that right boot into the far corner. Lovely finish by Trossard to give Arsenal that lead. At half-time, the stats are as follows, and the stats will tell you how close this game is, really, at half-time. Arsenal do have that one goal lead, and very narrow lead, but a very narrow game as well. 54% possession for Arsenal, 46% for Porto, so fairly even on that front. In terms of shots, 7 shots for Arsenal, 5 for Porto, 2 on target for the Gunners, just the 1 for Porto, so very little to separate the sides in that front as well, in attacking areas. Arsenal have had all 3 corners so far in the game. Interestingly, all of Arsenal's shots, all 7 of their shots have come from inside the box. 3 of Porto's 5 shots have actually come from outside the box, which is an interesting one. Arsenal more passes, of course, 195 to Porto's 167. Arsenal's passing accuracy is 84% to Porto's 74%. So Arsenal edging a few of those categories, but only edging them at the very slightest of margins. In terms of good form, Arsenal and Porto all both on a good winning run, both on a very good vein of form. Arsenal won all of their last 8 games in domestic competition since their 2-0 defeat to Liverpool in the FA Cup on the 7th of January. They've won all of those games since. The only game that they failed to win in all competition was, of course, the first leg against Porto. They've won 8 of 9 in all competitions. Fantastic run of form for the Gunners, which includes a win against Palace, Forest, Liverpool in the league, West Ham, Burnley, Newcastle, Sheffield United and Brentford, of course, at the weekend, and scored quite a few goals on a number of those occasions. They've scored 4 or more goals, Arsenal, funnily enough, in 5 of those 8 wins. 5-0 against Palace, 6-0 against West Ham, 5-0 against Burnley, 4-1 against Newcastle, and 6-0 against Sheffield United. So they love to put the ball in the net when they do find it, but of course very different opposition and very different kind of level of competition tonight than against a lot of those other teams that they have played recently, Arsenal, but you never know. But again, it's not a first half where I would say that Porto would feel deflated. They will feel disappointed that they've conceded, considering it was a very realistic prospect that they could go in at half-time having no kind of deficit on the night. They could be 0-0 and they would still be in the driving seat. That was a very real prospect towards the end of that first half. They just let themselves kind of off the hook a bit, or they kind of didn't stay to full concentration for the full period of 45, and that's what let them down. But it's 1-1 on aggregate. The game is far from over. Porto get a goal, which they haven't looked it hasn't looked unlikely. They have a chance. They've had a couple of chances, so there is still that possibility of a goal for them, which would put it right back in their favour. Arsenal, from their point of view, they need to come out in the second half and stamp their dominance. If they can and continue to deliver on that front in the second half, I can only see one team winning it. But I think Arsenal need to be more dominant in the game. They need to keep the ball longer. They're being too direct at times, Arsenal, and they're letting themselves down because they're allowing Porto to get the ball back from those goal kicks and free kicks and set pieces and just slowing the game down. That's what's ruining them at the moment, Arsenal. They get into their rhythm, they keep the ball, and they play their game, and they will win this tie. It's simple as that. But Porto doing a fantastic job at stopping them at the moment. So it is 1-0 to Arsenal on the night, 1-1 on aggregate. The second half from the Emirates is on the way next. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Champions League Live. I was unsure whether my mic was live there, but it is. And we're almost ready for the second half. The players just returning to the field for the second 45 here at the Emirates. Doesn't look like there's going to be any changes at half-time. I don't think either manager wants to make a change just yet. Still a bit early for that to see, but the second half getting underway in just a moment or two. The Arsenal players in a huddle at the moment, so it is 1-1 on aggregate, 1-0 to Arsenal on the night at the moment. So we will see what the second half has to hold. Do get your votes in the poll, because we're going to close that poll fairly shortly. I mean, it doesn't look like it's very close at all from what I can see from that poll. 90% predicting an Arsenal win. But do keep them coming in, and do put your suggestions in the chat if you want to for another poll. Porto actually keeping Arsenal waiting. Porto haven't returned to the pitch just yet. They are in the tunnel. They haven't returned to the field of play just yet, so they're keeping Arsenal waiting at the moment as they just emerge for the second half, which gets a boo from the Emirates crowd. Not giving a nice greeting, of course, as not that I expected them to be. And David Raya getting the crowd up there as he runs back to his goal as we get ready to get back underway. Everybody's in place, all 22 players on the field, the officials in their positions. All we need is the whistle to get the second half going at the Emirates. Still waiting. There we are. Clement Turpin gets us back underway at the Emirates for the second half. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. That would be greatly appreciated. We're on the road to 23,000 subscribers, and anyone you can that can join us will be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much indeed for watching us this evening. Right, so back underway, and the second half. Surely Arsenal will be hoping for a more dominant display, a more controlled display, and a display where they need to be more potent, because they do need another goal, Arsenal. They still have work to do, and that's if they don't concede, because here come Porto. Galeno down the left, early ball in, chipped in. Oh, Evan Nielsen picks it up at the byline, looking to try and find a way past Gabriel. Back out to Galeno. Galeno trying to work his way past Saliba. being held up. He does whip a ball in, headed away by Declan Rice, but good pressure from Porto early on. Here's Varela. Galeno back to Wendell, who goes back to Costa. But that was good from Porto. Good move down the left. They opened up Arsenal a bit there. That's not many sides have done recently. Here's Gonzalez. Out to Galeno on the left. Back to Wendell. Now Costa. Back to Pepe. Porto taking their time, as you would expect, not looking to raise the tempo of the game too much, because it would benefit Arsenal if they do. Here's Otavio, cool and calm on the ball. He was under pressure, but couldn't get the pass off to Galeno, and then as Porto try and win it back, they give away a free kick on Jorginho. So a free kick to Arsenal there. Jorginho winning that one. Of course, they win by 1 goal tonight, Arsenal. We will go to extra time and penalties. That is a prospect. That is if they win by 1 goal tonight. Even if they win by 2 goals to 1 or 3 goals to 2, whatever it may be, they will still go to extra time and penalties because it will be level on aggregate, obviously. If they win by 2 goals, Arsenal, or more, they will, of course, win the tie outright. Here comes Conceição down the right-hand side for Porto. Beats past Kivior, cuts it back into the box. Evan Nielsen with the overhead kick, but that one wasn't on target. And a goal kick goes Arsenal's way. But again, down the wide areas, Porto look threatening. I mean, Conceição just looks like he's coming infield. Just takes on Kivior beautifully. Cuts it back, and Evan Nielsen just doesn't gather it right when he goes for the overhead kick. But unlucky. But better from Porto. Much better than that attacking display. And Evan Nielsen stayed down here, which, while I was watching the replay, I could hear the crowd not happy with something in here, the home crowd, and I'm sure that's because Evan Nielsen stayed down. Nonetheless. Well, as I said, Arsenal bidding to reach the Champions League quarter-finals for the first time since 2010, when they're with their nine last 16 eliminations, a record. Of course, they've been eliminated 9 times from this stage. Porto themselves 8, alongside Real Madrid, who've also been put out 8 times. But of course, Real Madrid have got to the knockout stages more than anyone in history, so that would probably be a balance of things. Back underway then, when Evan Nielsen got his treatment, and Arsenal get the ball back through Gabriel now. Now, the Gunners have lost each of their last 5 home knockout games in the Champions League, their most recent being a crushing 5-1 defeat to Bayern Munich in 2017. Before that run, though, they had lost just 2 of their previous 17 such matches in the competition. 10 wins, 5 draws. So, recently, at home in the knockout stages of the Champions League, which is rare to come across for Arsenal in any case, but they lost all of their last 5. If they're going to lose tonight, that will be some comeback for Porto, some result for them. If they come back from 1-0 down to win this in the second half. Pepe linking up with Gonzalez, and now João Mario finds Conceição down the right hand side, tracked by Kivior and well defended by Jakub Kivior, who lets the ball run for a goal kick. Strong defending. Jakub Kivior, it's been left back's been a bit of a problem for Arsenal. Of course, Zinchenko has been in that role a couple of times this season, Alexander Zinchenko, and playing more of a kind of inverted role. It didn't really work for Arsenal at times this season. It wasn't really as effective as it probably could have been. And then reverted back to that original fullback system. Did Mikel Arteta, and put Jakub Kiwior in there, and he's been in very good form for them recently, in the last few games especially. Arsenal defending well there. Saliba back to Raya. White, Saliba, and Arsenal getting themselves in a muddle. But luckily for them, Porto can't find the ball forward, and they can recover here with Jakub Kiwior. Rice. Just Ben White and Saliba just got mixed up between each other, and then Saliba just played it long into the middle and it beat past Rice. There's Pepe doing well, holding the ball up, but he felt he would have got a free kick, but only gave away a throw in. And Otavio over there to cover the space that Pepe had left in the back four. And Otavio had to come flying across, and he did so, put it out for an Arsenal throw. Here's Ødegaard battling with João Mario, and Mario wins the challenge and he clears it away down the line, but no one there in a Porto shirt to keep the ball in Porto control, and Arsenal have it back again. Jorginho, ball over the top. Trossard made the run, but that one is too much for even Leandro Trossard to chase, and a goal kick will go to Porto. Well, as I said, Arsenal have won all of 8 of their Premier League games in 2024. The 3 previous teams to start a calendar year with 8 straight wins in the competition went on to claim the title. Man United in 2009, Liverpool in 2020, and Manchester City in 2021. So that's another good omen, considering Arsenal are top of the table in the league. And a question was asked before kickoff tonight about what was a bigger priority for Arsenal, the league or the Champions League. They haven't won the league in over 20 years. They've never won the Champions League or the European Cup, in whichever format it was. They've never won either. So what one would be more of a priority? And mixed answers, really. Actually, you know what? We'll do a poll on that one, because the poll for who everybody thinks is going to win tonight is not fairly close. It's pretty explanatory. Although here come Porto. They again misplace a pass. As I write out this poll and file on Trossard there. So we've got a free kick, and Cromwell Turpin getting the game back under control. It was Conceição. Just a bit of frustration from him. Comes sliding in. There's no need. Yeah, it's just a free kick. Maybe even a yellow card, but not according to the referee. So what is a bigger priority for Arsenal, Premier League or Champions League? So vote on this poll in the chat there for me. Premier League or Champions League, what is the bigger priority for Arsenal at this stage of the season? If they progress tonight, get into the last 8 of the Champions League and are top of the Premier League, what is a bigger priority for them? Do they go all in at winning the Premier League, or do they go all in and trying to win their first ever Champions League? I mean, Manchester City done both last season, so that's not out of the question either. Although Arsenal would have to be some force towards the end of the season. Free kick to Arsenal there, just as Porto felt they were getting away with the ball. Ødegaard winning that free kick. But again, Porto still very competitive, and the question remains, will they be able to hold on? Will they be able to keep this tempo, this pace, the amount of running that they're doing? Will they be able to keep that up for the full 90? Or if it is level after 90, for even longer than that? Could go up to 120 minutes here tonight. So, we need a result by the end of the evening. At the moment, it's not going either way at the moment. So, and it's arguably not unfair that the tie is as even as it is, because it's not been over the 2 legs, over the game and a half we've seen. Arsenal, yes, on paper, the better side, the more kind of more quality in their side, but and more expectant to win, but at the same time they haven't been as dominant in the tie, and that's credit to Porto for being as competitive and as in control as they have. But it has been a fairly even tie the whole way through. Arsenal have a corner on the left hand side, Rice to take, of course. Will be another in swinger with his right foot, Declan Rice. He's been a revelation at taking set pieces for Arsenal in the last few weeks. Rice, right-footed delivery. It's deep towards the front post and well headed away by Porto. Rice gets it back. Ødegaard. Now Rice on the left flank. Right-footed delivery. Whip it across. Pepe with a clearance and away by Evan Nielsen. Back to Ødegaard. Now Saliba. Out to the right-hand side to Saka. Plays it forward, finds Havertz in the box. Havertz looking for an option, chips it back. Rice with a shot. Straight to the leg of Pepe, who clears it away. Really good again from Arsenal. Nice movement up front. Not sticking to positions. Very fluid up front, Arsenal. Again, they win another throw in, and every time the ball goes out of play, even the manager, all the players are ramping up the crowd. They're gesturing to get the crowd, giving that noise. I mean, the noise against Brentford at the weekend when they were on top Arsenal was electric. I want more of the same. So far, the crowd inside the Emirates has been pretty good. So far, another corner for Arsenal, left-hand side. Rice to take again. Bit more dominance there. Last few minutes, Arsenal, a bit more control. Another corner whipped in deep, and it's gone. It could have went anywhere, that one, but it's cleared away by Evan Nielsen out for another Arsenal throw. But Porto cannot get out at the minute. Every time they clear the ball away, Arsenal come right back at them. Although, at the minute, VAR's checking something. Well, that check, as soon as it started, is complete for a possible penalty. No penalty for Arsenal. That was a quick check. Not necessary to even mention it. Throw in taken. Again cleared away. And Arsenal will have another throw in on the right hand side this time. Another chance to get that ball into the box. This time they go back down the line. Gabriel plays it down the flank, finds Ben White. Ben White trying to feed it in behind for Ødegaard and wins another throw in. White. Taking his time. Waiting for the right moment. He's taking a long time here. Ben White. And eventually does find Jorginho. Back to White. And Jorginho again. On the right flank. And just about keeps it in the margins. And then out again. This time by Wenderson Galeno. And another Arsenal throw. They're taking their time from it again. Jorginho flicks it into the box this time, and Saka, who comes onto the ball, is offside. What a pretty anticlimactic end to that. About five throw-ins in succession, and it all comes to an end for an offside. 60 minutes gone. Arsenal 1, Porto 0 on the night. 1-1 on aggregate. It is still Barcelona 2, Napoli 1 in our other game in the Champions League tonight. 3-2 to Barca on aggregate there. And in the Championship tonight, Birmingham 0, Middlesbrough 1. It remains they are about 15 minutes ahead of us, so they have around 15 minutes to go in that one between Birmingham and Middlesbrough still have that 1-goal lead. Right, as Porto again were in a more advanced position, but Evan Nielsen trying to keep the ball over stretches and gives a free kick away to Jorginho. And Arsenal again have another set piece. But I'm wondering at the minute, again, these set pieces, they don't look vulnerable from them, Porto, at all. At the minute. You know, we know how good Arsenal are from set pieces. I mean, it's been a massive part of their ability to win games this season at times, is set piece goals. But so far, Porto seem to have dealt with it well, and I said that from the first leg. I mean, Arsenal had countless amounts of corners in the first leg, but time and time again, Porto were the first ones to win it. And they don't look vulnerable at all, Porto, from those set pieces they need to defend. And Arsenal need to find a way to try and eke that edge, because that could be the difference. Set pieces, you know, we've seen in the game between Liverpool and Man City at the weekend, Man City get their only goal of the game from a corner, from a smart set piece play. And Porto took the free kick they won pretty quickly. Oh, and got the ball there. And that'll be a free kick to Porto. It's Kivior with the foul. It was Galeno that made the run in, failed. And he just nicks the ball away, and Kivior comes in a bit later. The ball's already gone, and it is a free kick to the visitors. It could be a huge moment, this. It's a very good position on the right-hand side. It's on the edge of the 18-yard box. On the right-hand side of the 18-yard box. Conceição and João Mario are over it, so we'll see what they can do from this point. Porto, they've looked threatening from counter-attacking positions tonight, but not many set pieces, haven't had a corner yet. They do have a free kick in a very decent area for them, and Arsenal around about the penalty spot. Their back line. Mario stepped up to take it. Bit of confusion. Conceição goes for goal, and that was a waste because the accuracy was so poor from Conceição. Well off target. I mean, you would have been... the chances of scoring a goal from that free kick, from that position, are minimal. You're best just putting the ball in the box, and you never know what can happen when you put it in a mix of a lot of bodies in a small space. But Porto, that was naive. No. Silly that. Not happy with that at all, really. Their biggest chance, surely, of the game from a set piece, and they completely sky the free kick over the bar. Useless. I'm going to take a quick check on the poll. Keep your votes coming in on the poll. We're going to keep that open right to the end of the game tonight, or at least right to the end of the 90 minutes. Do keep voting. Get your opinions in. What is a bigger priority for Arsenal, the Premier League or the Champions League? At the moment, the Premier League is winning, but only slightly, by 62%. Champions League is 38%. Keep your votes coming in. Still close, that poll. Right, back to the game. Arsenal. Rice comes forward. Down the left-hand side comes Trossard. Space a bit more here for Trossard to deliver, but again, a bit wayward. And Arsenal can't keep the pressure, although they do keep possession. Odegaard back to Ben White. Here's Jorginho. Odegaard. Through the lines, linking up with Ben White, and the ball comes off Wendell, and will win another Arsenal throw-in on that right-hand side. 25 minutes to go. And 1-0 to the Gunners on the night. 1-1 on aggregates, still fairly in the balance. If it stays as it is, of course, we will be going to extra time and penalties. But a long way from that yet, because it only takes one moment. Saliba, White, finds Saka on the right flank, trying to break his way through, but Porto flooding bodies around there, and Saka thought he'd broken away fairly, but deemed to have fouled the Porto defender in the process of getting forward, and that will be a free kick to Porto in their own left back position. It's actually Wendell. Does well to battle. And then Galeno gets back and helping out too. And Galeno's the man that goes down. And Clement Turpin, the referee, deems that one a free kick to the visiting side. And Porto get another bit of respite. But again, you look at the stats there on the screen, on the map, on your screen. 21 free kicks. That stat alone is a massive beneficiary for Porto, because the breaking of the play, Arsenal do so well when they have constant control and when they're constantly applying pressure to the opposition. That's how they break you down, because they come at you again and again and again. And with the energy and the pace and the quality that they have, they will eventually break you down if they come at you enough times. Oh, a bit of confusion here. A chance goal. That is terrible from Porto. What is that to the back? And Odegaard, although I don't know what's happened, the ball's in the back of the net, but the referee, I think, is not allowed it. Odegaard runs off in celebration, but it's all been pulled back, because we see this again. Saka gives it back to White. White chips it over the defence, and getting in a muddle, Pepe and Havertz, sorry. Pepe steps across, holding up the ball, tries to get it back to his keeper, and he's trying to hold off Kai Havertz. Havertz right on the back of him. Right on the back of him time and time again, and the keeper can't come for it, and then Odegaard comes on and just chips it over the lot of them. But it is a foul on Pepe, because Kai Havertz had a full grip of him. And just as we thought that Arsenal had got a second goal, the referee says no, and he's given a yellow card to Mikel Arteta in the process for his demonstrations, because of how frustrated he was at not getting the goal there. So Arteta has a yellow card. It's never the Champions League without a dramatic moment, is it, really? My goodness me. And VAR, I think, have ratified that, of course, because the game's back underway. But that was strange at the very best. And Mikel Arteta in the book. So one of his players is in the book, and he has just joined them for his frustrations there. Just at the moment, Barca had thought they'd given themselves an even better advantage. They thought they'd gone 3-1 up, but that goal has also been cancelled out. So both home sides in our respective Champions League games tonight have had a goal disallowed that could give them real control in their respective Champions League round of 16 ties. But at the moment, it still remains Barca 2, Napoli 1, and Arsenal 1, Porto 0, and still 1-1 in aggregate here, and 3-2 in aggregate between Barca and Napoli in that one. So still very even around the grounds, and still all four teams could easily progress here. But here come Arsenal. Saka. Oh, the ball through. Really good defending by Otavio to get in the way. And blocks it off. And now Porto come on the break. And here's Conceição. He's got Evan Nielsen and Galeno with him. Conceição goes himself. And then the follow-up from the save is brought behind, but the flag is up the second time round. Goodness me. I think cancelling out that goal has kicked this game into life. Conceição on the breakaway, eyeing up the chances. And what a strike. Good save by Raya. And then the offside flag is actually for the rebound that Evan Nielsen went for, because he was in an offside position from the first initial shot. But Porto come back again. 20 minutes to go. We're level on aggregate. Arsenal lead by a goal to 0 on the night. And if Porto get a goal, that would really put the cat amongst the pigeons. And put a dampener, really, on Arsenal's night so far. It's not been the Arsenal night, or the night that Arsenal would have probably wanted coming into this one, dominating the game. Would have wanted to dominate and take an early control, but Porto have been a real tough customer defensively all night. have not allowed Arsenal to really take full grip of this game. Neither did they in the first leg, but you expected Porto to have a bit more control in the first leg because they were at home, but coming away from home, it's an even more difficult task, but they've worked it really, really well. Well, don't forget, two more Champions League ties tomorrow night, but we're back on Thursday nights for the second legs of the Europa League as Liverpool host Sparta Prague in the second leg. Liverpool fairly comfortable in that one, 5-1 they lead, but we'll keep an eye on the other games as well at the same time on Thursday night for you from 8 o'clock. Right, here's Pepe. Goes long down the line. It's not only about Porto holding on. The last few minutes we've seen Porto have glimpses of trying to win this game outright, never mind trying to hold on and stop Arsenal. And that's a real positive from that front, but there's a free kick coming here. It's gone Arsenal's way, and Pepe gets the yellow card. I think the referee just needs to settle this game back down again because it has got above boiling point at the minute. Both sides getting away with themselves a bit. A couple of yellow cards coming out. But that's exactly what we love to see. Feisty Champions League tie when it's all on the line, when it matters most. And that's when we want to see the real passion from these two sides. Arsenal have a free kick and a chance to whip a ball in and put pressure on the Porto defence here from this set piece. Odegaard to take it. Takes it short. Forward to Trossard. He delivers it in. Right-footed delivery. Header up and header wide by William Saliba. Not a bad delivery, and Saliba got commandingly up there but couldn't direct it towards goal at all. But it's been a very even game. I've mentioned it a couple of times of how even this game has been over the two legs, and especially in this second leg when you expect Arsenal to have more of the possession. Only edging it slightly, 54%, so not really getting a grip of the game that they would have wanted early on. And even in the shots, exactly the same in terms of attack and output. 8 shots for each side, 2 shots on target. The only difference is that Arsenal have a goal. That's the only thing separating them in terms of stats, which crucially is the most important stat of the game. Just another stoppage here because Gabriel's just gone down here for Arsenal. So after a tussle with Pepe and a few other players as well, Gabriel trying his best to hold on to the ball, and he's just gone down here. So we'll see what comes of this, whether he will receive treatment or not. No changes as of yet, which is interesting. I don't think either manager wants to impact this game more than it needs to, because at the minute it's very finely poised. Both managers, I'm sure, might just be a bit afraid to make changes in case they ruin the rhythm of the game. But, well, considering the fact Arsenal don't have a game this weekend, of course, they not in FA Cup action, FA Cup this weekend, and not in Premier League action, because their opponents they would have had in the Premier League this weekend are in FA Cup action and Chelsea. So Arsenal have the weekend off. This is their last game before the international break, funnily enough. So that it is for Arsenal. Porto, they're back in action at the weekend. They welcome Vizela to the Estadio de Dragao in a few weeks' time. Or, sorry, at the weekend on Saturday night. So they have a bit of a turnaround as well. A couple of days to recover. And they get a free kick again here, Porto. And again, it's just bubbling under a bit. Jorginho a bit not happy with that decision for the referee to give the free kick. It's one of those, it's just gone a bit... At the minute, we're They're winning that kind of mental battle at the moment. Porto and Evan Nielsen just felt kind of looking like he wanted a yellow card issued there, but that's silly. It's not a yellow card challenge on Jorginho. The free kick taken quickly, and Costa goes long, but straight to his counterpart, David Raya, in the opposite goal. Still, Barca 2, Napoli 1. Remember, if Napoli equalise, it will be level on aggregate, which means that the tie will have to go to extra time and penalties. But as it stands, with Barca leading by 2-1, they will go through by 3-2 on aggregate on the night. So, still finely poised in that one. But there does need to be a goal for it not to go the extra time, or for it to go the extra time and penalties. Whereas if it stays as it is in this game, extra time and penalties will be coming fairly shortly. But both sides want to avoid that, and don't want that to be the case, because here comes João Mario, who nicked the ball away from Trossard and is carrying Porto forward as Conceição down the right hand side. Cuts the ball across. Evan Nielsen, nice first touch, dragged to the floor, but the referee says no foul, and Saliba a bit physical as Arsenal come back the other way. Saka, challenged by Otavio, goes down. Referee only gives a throw in. No foul there either. And I think that's the correct decision on both cases there. Both know what they're doing, both players, to try and win the free kick. Although, to be fair, looking back at that Evan Nielsen chance, I think that might be a free kick, to be honest. Although, interestingly enough, both managers have now been booked for their reactions to not getting decisions going their way, and Sergio Conceição joins his counterpart, Mikel Arteta, in the opposite dugout, both on a yellow card. But this is bubbling under, definitely. It's feisty affair at the Emirates. This is the type of tie that we wanted. It's the type of game that we wanted. We wanted this type of game, where neither side would give up, neither side would let the other away from it. Porto more than Arsenal in any case, but Porto are coming forward themselves and have an attacking threat themselves, and they've won another free kick just inside their own half. Jorginho again with the foul. Pepe, the younger of the Pepes, getting that foul, knocked the ball away, and then was challenged by Jorginho a bit late. Seems like Porto are growing. They feel revitalised at this minute in time. And they have, it seems like, from the way they're playing, they have a lot of belief that they could go and get a goal here and completely stun not only the Emirates, but the whole of Europe. Considering the fact that if they do complete this, they would be the only team in 2024. They are the only team in 2024 to beat Arsenal. Oh, ball over the top. Mario made the run. Kivior, apologies, didn't deal with it, and Mario got on the end of it, but didn't make the connection to put the ball into the box, and it run for an Arsenal goal kick. You never know. Is there a winner coming? Either side score at this stage, and surely it might be a winner in the tie. And that would be wonderful for either team, really. You know, I don't have skin in the game. I don't care who wins, but we just want to see drama. That's what this competition epitomises. That is what this competition is all about, the Champions League. Dramatic moments. And this round of 16 tie has been a real spectacle in this second leg. Even in the first leg, it was a bit dull at times, and Porto lit it up at the last second to win the game. To take this to a competitive second leg, and what they have done in this second leg, Porto have made it so competitive. And that is so impressive. To come to a stadium in the Emirates where Arsenal are in incredible form. I mean, they have a wonderful record here, Arsenal, at home. I mean, we look at their home record. They've lost once at home here in recent times, and that was against West Ham in the league at the end of 2023. They have won every other league game dating back to early September, even before that. Arsenal have a wonderful home record, and although they are winning on the night, Porto could do a job in stopping them from progressing to the quarter-finals. Remember, if they do progress, Arsenal to the quarter-finals, it'll be the first time they've got to that stage in 14 years, since 2010. They've been knocked out at this stage of the competition more than anyone else in Champions League history. This is not uncommon for Arsenal to struggle at this stage, but Mikel Arteta has revitalised Arsenal in every other aspect, and this is the next challenge. Can they do it in Europe? So far, Porto have stifled them, stopped them, and held them off with real vigour. But there's still time, and Arsenal are going to make a change. I said they were stacked on the bench, and they're bringing on one of those attacking options. Gabriel Jesus is coming into the fray, and he's going to replace Jorginho. So they're going more attacking Arsenal, committing another body forward. And it will be Gabriel Jesus up front to lead the line. And that will be fresh legs, fresh energy that can get Arsenal forward. Here's Odegaard, finds Saka. Back to Odegaard, chips his way through. Lots of bodies trying to clear it away and falls to Jesus. And what a save. Great save by Costa. And with his first touch, he causes Porto problems. Gabriel Jesus, but Costa makes sure that he doesn't make it any worse. Got a shot on target, Jesus, but only that. Save by Costa. Really good save, and now Arsenal have a corner. Instant impact from the number 9. Saka delivers a corner in, deep to the front post, cleared away, but there will be a free kick. In any case, as Nico Gonzalez was fouled there. What an opportunity. Unlucky for Jesus, and a fantastic save. I mean, he gets his legs down at it, throws himself, makes himself as big as possible, Diogo Costa, and he does wonderfully well to deny Gabriel Jesus. But that was a huge moment. Huge moment for the Gunners. But that will give them renewed hope. And here they come again, as Porto give it away through Otavio. Odegaard finds Saka. Saka! Big save. Odegaard with a follow-up. Just wide. Goodness me, they're knocking on the door now, Arsenal, but it is holding firm at the moment. Saka on the chop inside. You know what he does. He comes on his left, and he uses that left boot to try and curl it into the far corner. Lovely save by Costa. Again, gets both hands to it. It bounces, rebounds back out to Odegaard, who, again, goes with his left, trying to find the far corner. But curls it too much and goes outside the post for a goal kick. Close again. Fine margins. And Porto are now going to make a change. So Arsenal have made one themselves. Porto are going to make one themselves. At the minute, João Mario is coming on, and Jorge Sanchez is his replacement. So Sanchez going to slot in the defence. Fresh legs in their defence. Porto. And we have another goal from our other game at the moment. So while this game is getting to the end, and one of these two sides edging closer to a winner, Barca have won it, really, at the late stage in Spain. It is 3-1 to Barca in that one. And that is the tie. Surely over, barring any incredibly late drama. Robert Lewandowski with a third one for Barca. They lead by 4 goals to 2 in aggregate, and it now means Napoli need 2 goals in the space of 5 minutes to get themselves back in the tie. But that is a long way away. Here comes Saka for Arsenal. Odegaard tries to thread it through, takes a deflection. It will be a corner. Here they come again. This is do or die moments for Arsenal. They were at this stage at the weekend. It's 1-1 on aggregate. It was 1-1 on the night on Saturday evening. Around about this stage, they got the winner. 86th minute, Kai Havertz popped up to win it. They need another hero on the night tonight if they want to go through inside 90 minutes. Saka to take the corner. All the bodies at the back post for Arsenal. Saka delivers in and straight into the hands of Costa, who tries to go for the counter-attack for Porto. What a ball. Not the best of touches from Pepe, but he does get past Rice and will win the throw-in. Pepe, that's fantastic. But they're going to make a change before they're going to take that throw-in, and they're going to make this change then. Porto, and I did mention before the game, Mehdi Taremi is back on the bench. Well, he's coming off the bench. Their leading scorer is coming on. What a story that would be. Evan Nielsen, the man who's had a couple of opportunities tonight. Half chances indeed, but couldn't convert. Well, he's going to be replaced by the main man for Porto, Taremi. He's going to come on and hopefully, in his point of view and from Porto's point of view, give them an incredible result here tonight. Throw in on the left hand side. I'll take a look at the poll again in a second and talk about that in a second for you. But Porto have a throw in. They're going for the long throw. Taken in, flicked on. Arsenal get it away at the second time of asking, and then Saka, as he carries the ball away, is brought to the floor by Wenderson Galeno, and it will be a free kick to Arsenal inside their own half. 2 minutes plus additional time to go. Remember, if it stays as it is, extra time and penalties incoming. If we get another goal, whichever way, at this late stage, would be the winner, surely. And who knows at what end it could come, because it could go at either end, a goal at this stage. Fine margins again. Pepe. Bit of head tennis at the moment. Taremi brings it down, but isn't given a second. And he gets a free kick for Gabriel, coming barging in behind him. And takes him down. And Porto win a free kick. Just inside their half. So as I say and reiterate, last minute of the 90, Arsenal 1, Porto 0. Aggregate scoreline 1-1. If we stay as it is, no more goals come in this game. Extra time and penalties will be needed to decide a winner between Arsenal and Porto. And not long in terms of what we're hearing about extra time. We'll confirm that to you, added time, sorry. We'll confirm that to you after 90 minutes when the board goes into the air. That Porto free kick is wasted straight through to David Raya. Right, in the last couple of minutes as well in Barcelona, and it looks comfortable for Barca. The final score from the championship game between Birmingham and Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough did hold on to that 1-goal lead. Riley McGree with the only goal of the game against Birmingham to give them a 1-0 win in the championship. Right, Saka for Arsenal. And we will have 3 added minutes at the end of the 90. 3 minutes for either of these teams to conjure up a winning goal. And here comes Saka with a chance. The cutback is not on target, and it's cleared away behind for a corner. Saka had the chance to put the delivery in, and he rushed it a bit. Went on the cutback, not looking where anyone is, and luckily for Porto, they can get up behind for the corner. Odegaard to take. So Saka taken away from that set piece. He's been taking those right-sided corners all night, but Odegaard's going to deputise. Left-footed delivery, whipped in. Away at the front post again by Porto. Saka recycles. Odegaard back to Saka. Saka with a left-footed ball in. That one was overhit. Gabriel was lurking at the back post, but put too much on it, Saka. But Mikel Arteta's not given up yet. Applauding his side there. Time running out for a winner inside 90 minutes. And if you'd have told me coming into this game tonight that we would be going to extra time and penalties, I think you would have had a lot of questions coming your way, because that was not what was expected coming into this one tonight. It's what Porto were hoping for and desperate for, but you'd be a fool to say that any of us really truly believed that Porto could stifle Arsenal this much, considering how good Arsenal have looked. But over the two games, they've been really, really good, Porto. But Arsenal not giving up yet, and the final whistle is still about a minute away. Trossard and Porto are now clinging on for extra time because they've got all their bodies behind the ball. Rice, Saliba, White. The crowd sing, "Come on, Arsenal." They need a bit of hope, a bit of life laid on into the last minute of added time. And they're just playing it around the back. Arsenal, they needed to get it forward. Rice, Ben White. A lot of bodies back for Porto, which makes it difficult for Arsenal to find space, but there's one man that can. Saka wanted a free kick, but referee says play on. Here's Odegaard through the lines. Jesus back to Odegaard on the spin. Everyone going around, and they do get it cleared. They want a penalty, Arsenal, but Odegaard was back to his feet quickly, and it's all the way back with David Raya, so that might just be that. Or is there just one last opportunity? But actually, the game has been paused for the second because Porto have a man down, and Odegaard still seems to be struggling a wee bit there. See this again. Odegaard on the kind of step over spin, and Pepe just... nah, there's not much in that. Pepe does get a hold of him. Not much of a hold, but he does put an arm on him. It's not enough to bring Martin Odegaard to the floor, and that's not a penalty for me. And I think the VAR and the officials felt that was the outcome, and I think they got the right decision. So we've played over the 3 minutes, but of course there's a man down for Porto, so the game has stopped, but there's very little extra to play at this stage. Maybe 10-15 seconds at the very most to come. But this is what the Champions League's all about. A side like Porto against a side like Arsenal. Arsenal lack the experience of this competition. Porto on paper would lack the quality. But over the two legs, over the 180 minutes we've watched so far, Porto have been magnificent against Arsenal, holding them to just one goal over 180 minutes, considering that Arsenal have scored a hatful of goals, something like 34 goals in 8 games. A wonderful amount of goals for their Arsenal, but Porto have done an unbelievable job so far as to get into this stage. 90 minutes in their stadium, where Arsenal looked haphazard, looked poor, and Porto got the late winner to take a lead into the second leg. And coming into this towards the end of the first half, Arsenal find the lead on the night to level the game in aggregate. And that would have given Arsenal a lot of belief, but Porto battled back in the second half and really made it their own and kept Arsenal at bay for a long period. And we're now into the 6th minute of added time, and the stretchers now come out. So that player going down wasn't that there was nothing in it. Although, as he's coming off, he does get a bit of a boo from the Arsenal fans because they're still not convinced. But disappointing because going to make a change then, Porto, of course. So into the 7th minute of additional time, and it's Marco Grujic that's going to come on, the former Liverpool player. So he has, I wouldn't say he has skin in the game. Of course, he's playing for Porto, but what a story that would be if he's involved, and former Liverpool player, of course, involved in any which way at getting Porto over the line. So, of course, Alan Varela, the man who went off, he's going to be replaced by Marco Grujic for extra time especially. And there's very little gameplay here. David Raya is just roaming out. He's trying to get one last opportunity for Arsenal, maybe. One last attack. But Porto are going to battle as hard as they can to hold on and not allow Arsenal an opportunity. And they might have an opportunity themselves on the break. Here's Taremi, sorry. Finds it to Conceição, back to Taremi. Back to Conceição with a cross in. Bouncing around, and Arsenal do get it away, but the flag was up in any case. Why would you let it run if the flag is up? If he's offside, just put the flag up earlier. There's no need to delay that. No need. Oh, he's not massively offside there, Taremi. Very narrow, very close, but I think he's slightly offside indeed. But wonderful link up between Taremi and Conceição, and then the cross whipped in with pure pace. But luckily for Arsenal, it doesn't go anywhere near their goal, and that is the end of the 98. That is the end, and extra time and penalties could be the decider. Extra time coming first. We will have another 30 minutes to play at the Emirates to try and separate these two sides. Over 180 minutes of football. They have scored one apiece in each game. One for Arsenal tonight, one from Porto in the first leg. That is where we are in aggregates. After 180 minutes, another 30 to come. Do stay with us.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Champions League Live after the 90 minutes at the Emirates Stadium tonight in the second leg of the round of 16 tie between Arsenal and Porto. It is Arsenal 1, Porto 0 at the final whistle, but at 1-1 on aggregate means we will be going to extra time, and if we're still level after 30 minutes of extra time, penalties will decide the winner of tonight's round of 16 tie. No need for penalties in Barcelona though, because they did enough on the night. 1-1 from the first leg, and they won it comfortably in the end on the night. Barcelona winning by 3-1 against Napoli to progress to the quarter-finals of the Champions League. Fermin Lopez and João Cancelo give them a 2-goal lead after 17 minutes. Amir Rahmani got Napoli back into the game for 2-1 before Robert Lewandowski put the confirmation stamp on Barcelona's name to carry them through to the last 8 with a third goal in the 86th minute. So that game is done. So Barcelona join Real Madrid, Manchester City, PSG and Bayern Munich in the quarterfinals. We still await, of course, in this game, with the extra time penalties possibly coming. The extra time definitely coming. Penalties might be a possibility later on. To decide between Arsenal and Porto. Of course, remember, at the minute, it's all a big toss-up between the teams getting that extra spot in next season's Champions League. Remember, 5 spots could be up for grabs for for 2 of Europe's big 5 coefficient leagues. At the moment, Italy and Germany fill those spots, so they will be getting extra Champions League places for next season. If English teams want to get in there, they're in 3rd on the coefficients list. If England they want to get their teams progressing deep into European competition, and this result could be huge in that factor, because if Arsenal do go out tonight, that will be a big blow to the English coefficient and could end up be meaning that 4th place, only 4 spots available for English teams next season in the Champions League. We will find out, but if Arsenal do go through, then it would be a lot better for the English coefficient, of course. Right, we will see as we're ready to get back underway, ready for the extra time to get underway. 30 more minutes, 15 each half. If we're level after those 2 spells of 15 minutes, penalties will decide the winner. So, we will see. And of course, now with extra time, an extra substitute is available, an extra substitute option. Of course, now the sides used major substitutes, 3 for Porto, and 1 for Arsenal, so nowhere near 5 for either team, so that's not a worry, but they do have another substitute available, another option for substitution available in extra time. Right, I'm just awaiting something going on at the sidelines between the UEFA officials, which is holding up the start of the extra time, but it should be resolved in a moment or two. It is now resolved and we're ready to go. We're off and running. Extra time, the first 15 minutes, is underway at the Emirates Stadium. And at this stage, coming into the extra time, I can't predict a winner between Arsenal or Porto. You know, because both sides have given enough tonight. Well, they could be the winner. You know, Arsenal have been fantastic at times in spells, and Porto have been fantastic in spells, but they've only been in spells. Neither side has commanded the game, and I've said that multiple times, but it's true. This tie has been so hardly fought and so closely fought. It's been incredible to watch. And usually when we get tight ties, sometimes it can be very dull and boring, but this has been electric. And here come Arsenal. Saka lays it off to Jesus, who's trying to work it, but Porto crowd it out and clear it away. And Jesus at the byline tried to squeeze it through, but couldn't get through the Porto bodies. Throw in for Arsenal, taken quickly. Odegaard. Gabriel. Over the top. Ben White trying to control it, does control it, but can't keep it in play, and Porto will get a throw-in inside their own half. Right, just looking at that poll again, keep those votes coming in. Great to have you interacting with us this evening and watching us on LFS this evening for the Champions League games. And I asked you, what is a bigger priority for Arsenal, the Premier League or the Champions League? At the moment, the Champions League is winning by 54% of the vote to 46% in Premier League favour, which is, I wouldn't say not what I expected, but very close, because very different answers. It's been public opinion, it's been very different answers on that front in terms of opinion all through the day. It was a question that was put up, you know, if they do get the quarterfinals, Arsenal, what do they prioritise? And at the moment, from what you say, edging Champions League ever so slightly. But if you haven't voted, do keep those votes coming in. We'll run it right to the end of the stream tonight, and we will confirm that poll on our community page after the full-time whistle. Porto goal kick gone long. First header won by Havertz, who's picking up a more midfield role, and Gurich wins the second header for Porto, but they get themselves into trouble momentarily, but well recovered. Well defended there by Nico Gonzalez to keep Porto in possession. Back to Costa. But the home crowd are still singing, still supporting their team to try and get them over the line. Long ball from Porto. Bit of head tennis. Bouncing around a couple of players, and then the clearance goes out of play for an Arsenal throw. So Arsenal fans still in full voice. Love to see that passion. White with a throw in down the line, looking for Jesus, but he's well marshalled all the time. And then Saka goes down and he'll get a free kick. Clomel Turpan took a minute to make his decision there. But there was a bit of confusion there as Otavio was trying to keep the ball away from Jesus. Otavio felt that he was fouled by Jesus, and then Otavio tries to keep the ball, and in the process ends up fouling Saka. But Otavio wasn't happy because he thought he was fouled first. But nonetheless, free kick goes Arsenal's way, and a chance for them to whip a ball in. Rice, Gabriel and Ødegaard over it. Gabriel steps away now. And it's Ødegaard that seems to be taking it because Rice has also stepped away. So we'll see what Ødegaard can do from this set piece. Again, that high line from Porto. They caught Arsenal offside before from a free kick. Playing so high, but Arsenal have just stepped back onside. They're not going to stay offside. There, Ødegaard ready to take it. Actually, they confused me. Ødegaard with the delivery. In and away, but Saka comes down and then it's blasted away by Otavio again. They almost confused me there. Ødegaard and Rice. Getting mixed up between the two of them, and Ødegaard did take it, but it was cleared away by Porto eventually. 5 minutes of the extra time gone. Still Arsenal 1, Porto 0 on the night. 1-1 on aggregates. Still hangs in the balance. Which of these two teams will join the other 5 quarter-finalists tonight? Rice. Trossard. Not Trossard. Kivior. Apologies. Gabriel. Nice Saliba. Chipped out to White on the right-hand side. Can't find his way past Wendell, who has defended well. And got the throw in for Arsenal there. White. Ødegaard. Across to Kivior. Back to Gabriel. Nice Saliba. Arsenal waiting for the right opportunity, and Saliba chips it out to White. White with a flick on. Brought down by Saka, but Saka again well marshalled, and the ball cleared away and out for another Arsenal throw. They're quick on to Saka. A couple of times when Saka's gone onto the ball, Porto have been all over him. Can't blame them. Ben White with a throw in. Finds Ødegaard at the byline, and the ball cleared behind for another Arsenal corner. Good work by the Arsenal captain to win the corner. And Saka to take it. But tonight, as I said, they haven't been great on set pieces, Arsenal, all night. Corners, they've struggled to get the first header to them. This will be the moment that they need to try and find the first connection. Saka to take the corner, right-hand side. In swinging corner as always. Whipped in, headed away. Again, Porto win the first header, and they have the counter-attack on now, and challenge there. The referee didn't feel it was a foul. It was good, actually. I don't think there was a foul. Smart from the referee. Gabriel gets Arsenal back on the front foot. Here comes Jesus from the left. Jesus carries the ball with him, and Pepe does well to shut the door on Gabriel Jesus on a goal kick to Porto. He may be 41, but he is playing like he is 21, Pepe, with a well-experienced head on his shoulders. Well, Interestingly enough, I did mention about substitutes, and I said that it shouldn't be a worry. But I think Porto are going to make 2 changes. But I think I heard something that Porto were only allowed to make 1 more change. We will see what that is in a moment. What happens there? But Porto eyeing up 2 changes here in a moment. Bring them some fresh legs on in extra time. Maybe give them a bit more of attacking threat, because so far in these 8 minutes they've struggled to really get out defensively, and Arsenal have been growing in dominance. And they've given away a free kick here. Marco Grujic, the man to foul an Arsenal player. That was Kai Havertz he fouled. Yeah, Havertz knew he was coming. Flicked the ball over Grujic, and Grujic just left one in on him. And that's a free kick going Arsenal's way, which they take quickly. Saliba. Rice. Switches it out to the right hand side with that diagonal. Wendell in to intercept and hold off the Arsenal attack, but only as much as a throw in. White to take the throw. Lovely from White round the corner to Saka. Saka trying to escape Wendell, and again well marshalled as Bukayo Saka, and Porto get it clear. Only as far as Rice, and Rice's ball is straight the way through to Diogo Costa. Nice idea, but the execution of it wasn't at its best. Pepe. Back to Costa. So just about to hit the 100-minute mark. So 10 minutes of extra time. So 5 minutes to go in this extra time first half. Or first half of extra time. And Arsenal a bit lax at the back there. Kivior lets it away from him. Here come Porto. Taremi on the left-hand side. Taremi trying to work his way through. Using his feet. Taremi with a shot. But wide. Couldn't get it on target. Taremi. Kivior a bit silly. Allows the ball to bounce away from him, and Porto almost punish Arsenal from that position. Right, Porto are going to make a double change. I think the question was they could only make one change on one occasion. So they can make 2 changes, but only on 1 occasion. So they're going to make a double change. So the first one is Stefan Estequio is coming on. He's going to replace Nico Gonzalez, and the second substitution is going to be Francisco Conceição is coming off, and he's going to be replaced by Gonçalo Borges. So Gonçalo Borges and Stefan Estequio are both coming on, and in replacement of Nico Gonzalez and Francisco Conceição. As we're into the last 4 minutes of the first half of extra time at the Emirates in the second leg between Arsenal and Porto, where it is 1-1 on aggregate. Arsenal leading by 1-0 on the night. As Arsenal have to defend there, but they do well, and Raya fires it clear, but Porto pick it up again in the middle. Ball fed to Galeno. He's not been massively involved in the attacking areas, but he's massively involved there. But it actually comes back off Galeno, and a goal kick. He wanted a corner, but it comes straight back off him. Goal kick to Arsenal. He was the key man in the first leg, of course, getting that winner for Porto. He's not had the major impact tonight, but it only takes one moment. One moment it could be. And if it goes to penalties, who knows? There will be a start. Gabriel. White. Arsenal pressed upon there, and Saliba just fires it clear. Straight out of play, and Porto will get a throw in. And Kai Havertz kicks the ball away. And the Porto player's not happy that he kicked the ball away. The referee, I don't know if he's going to react and give him a yellow card here. I think he probably should. because he just kicked the ball away unnecessarily there. Havertz, he knew the ball was out of play, and he just booted it away, and then shoved the Porto manager, Sergio Conceição, in the process. He's just getting a talking to by the referee, Clement Turpin. Bit unnecessary from Kai Havertz, really. Experienced player like him. Throw in to Porto. Left-hand side. I think the referee tonight, I don't want to say it too early, but I'm going to say it now because I might forget. I think Clement Turpin has been wonderful tonight. He's got a lot of criticism about European games previously in the big moments. But tonight, I think he's refereed this game incredibly well, even when it's got feisty and kind of topsy-turvy at times when both sides got really fired up with a passion. He's done really well to keep a controlled manner in this game, the referee, and credit to him, because at times when games like that, referees can lose their head and fire cards out everywhere, and the game can just go wayward and it go a bit manic. But he done really well to keep control of the game, the referee Clement Turpin, so far up to this point. So he deserves credit for that. Last minute of the first half of extra time. Still the same scoreline. 1-1 in aggregate. Nothing to separate these two teams. If we don't get another goal, penalties will decide the winner of this tie. No one. If you're a fan of either of these clubs, neither of you want penalties. But for the neutral, a penalty shootout is always glorious. In the meantime, before we get anywhere near that, Arsenal are going to make a double substitution. So they'd only made one substitution before this. Jorginho replaced by Jesus. They're going to bring Zinchenko, and I think that's Eddie Nketiah as well as coming on. And if we've surpassed the 15 minutes mark of the first half of extra time, we'll have one added minute at the end of the first half of extra time. So still a bit of time to go. Grujic wins the first header for Porto. Brought down there by Borges, and Rice takes no risks and puts it straight out for the throw. Borges will have this throw on the right hand side. He's actually going to leave it off there to Estaquio. Back to Pepe. Now Otavio. Fires forward. Headed away by Saliba and straight out for another Porto throw. This time on the left-hand side, but that'll probably be the end of the first half extra time. It is. Clement Turpin brings to an end the first 15 minutes of extra time. And only 15 minutes separates us from possible penalties at the Emirates. Back for the second half of extra time in just a second. Do stay with us. Welcome back to Champions League Live, the second half of extra time on the way in just a moment. From the Emirates, of course, if we do go to extra time and penalties, do stay with us. We'll be covering every single last second of it, right to the very final whistle, till we have confirmed which one of these two teams will be playing in the Champions League quarter-final stages in a few weeks' time. The draw, of course, is on Friday. We'll give you all the information of that very shortly, because we're ready to get back underway. And at the moment, again, there's not much to split the two sides. In that first half of extra time, Arsenal had more possession, but only one shot in that first half. Arsenal had 58% possession, 42% for Porto, just the one shot and that was Porto's shot was off target. We haven't had much in attacking threat from that first half of extra time. And not many hopes of a change, but they're going to make changes, Arsenal. So Eddie Nketiah is coming on. He's going to replace Leandro Trossard. And Alexander Zinchenko is coming on. And he is replacing... I'm not too sure. I didn't see the numbers, so I will confirm that for you in a second once I get the confirmation. So we're back underway for the second half of extra time. So another 15 minutes to go at the Emirates. And which one of these sides will progress? At the moment, no one has a Scooby-Doo, because at this stage it's as level as it could be. It was Jakub Kiwior, by the way, that came off for Alexander Zinchenko. So a straight swap at left back there for those two. But it's such on a knife edge that either side could win this. That's the joy of extra time and penalties, that it's potluck. It's anybody's game. I mean, we witnessed ourselves very recently, if you're watching the channel, an extra time situation where in the League Cup final, the English League Cup final, where Liverpool and Chelsea were playing, Chelsea dominated the end of the 90 minutes. Liverpool were the better side in extra time, and they won it in extra time. And they were clinging on after 90 minutes, Liverpool. So the joys of differences in games, extra time and penalties, what it can deliver is something special. And that's why you can never predict what's going to happen, because everything goes out the window. Tactics just go out the window at this stage. It's all about fighting, passion, desire to win the game. That's what it comes down to. Here's Arsenal. Saka. Backtracking. There's nowhere to go. And is facing his own goal. Has to go back to White. Odegaard. Gabriel to Saliba. Back to Gabriel again. Porto still with that press. From minute one, they've been pressing Arsenal high. And even at half-time, we were questioning, could they continue with that high press? And so far, we're at 107 minutes. And they are pressing as good as they have all game. But what a run. And this is a chance. Borges on the right-hand side for Porto. Bodies in the box. The cross from Borges is poor. Straight on the floor. And Zinchenko can intercept, but he puts it out under pressure, and it will be a Porto corner. Chance here. Interestingly enough, that's Porto's first corner of the night. Arsenal have had 9 corners and haven't been able to kind of threaten Porto from those corners. Porto, this is their first of the night. What can they do? Wendell has defended so incredibly well at left back so far. Can he be an attacking threat? Corner comes in, left footed, deep to the back post, but that's good goalkeeping from David Raya. Tracked it all the way with his eyes and used his hands to get a grab on the ball. Command and goalkeeping that. But again, they go long, Arsenal, and Porto get the ball back. Back to their keeper, Costa. Goes out to the left flank to find Galeno. Battling, and Galeno wins the challenge, and Galeno comes breaking forward. Although he slips as he gets into the box. Cannot track back on himself and ends up slipping on the slick surface. And it will be an Arsenal goal kick. Poll in the chat still very, very close. Keep those votes coming in. Thank you very much indeed for getting involved. 103 votes, 52% predicting Champions League, or saying Champions League is more of a priority for Arsenal. 47% saying Premier League, still as close as ever. Keep those votes coming in. We'll close that poll at the end of play tonight. So have your say. Rice. 11 minutes to go. of extra time. So still more than enough time for a winner. You'd be a brave person to predict it at this stage. Saka, Odegaard, through the lines. Here comes Nketiah. Saka! Massive block last ditch from Otavio to stop the Arsenal threat there. I was just waiting on the strike to come and it never came because Otavio got in the way of it. Wonderful defending. And here come Porto up the other end, but they've played it straight out of play there. It's kind of maybe a show of fatigue, maybe. No show of fatigue in Otavio there with that wonderful challenge. Lovely, intricate play from Arsenal. First time we've really seen them do that. Odegaard, Saka and Nketiah all linking up in a tight triangle. And Saka got the last touch and Otavio got in his way and stopped him from having a chance at striking the ball. That was a huge defensive moment for Otavio. Zinchenko. Rice. Gabriel. Now to Alexander Zinchenko. In the middle. Linking up with Declan Rice. Now to Ben White. Now Zinchenko again. To Rice. Spreads the ball out to the left flank. Chested down by Jesus. First touch link up with Havertz. And then tried to take the ball past Pepe. But as he kicks the ball away, the veteran defender, he cheers in glory. And Arsenal stopped again. But here they come again. Gabriel. Zinchenko. Trying to weave his way through the middle. Blocked off, but one back by Nketiah, but deemed to have been a foul according to the referee, so Porto free kick will be oncoming. 8.5 minutes of the 30 of extra time to go. And we're still deadlocked at 1-1 on aggregates. Goodness me. I have to say, this has been one of the best Champions League games this season. It has been wonderful. And here comes Nketiah. Jesus. Battling again. Porto cannot keep it in. But it will actually go against Arsenal because they kicked it out. Porto tried to keep it in, but it was already across the line. And Arsenal had the last touch. Throw into Porto. Around about the halfway line. Just about inside their half, Porto. And although in this extra time they haven't done a massive job of attacking, neither have Arsenal. They've been in attacking areas, Arsenal, but not been able to finish off those chances in that position so far. That's a nudge by Galeno. Thought he was going to get away with it for a moment, but the referee, as he knew Galeno was going to get the advantage of the ball, he blew his whistle and gave the free kick against the Porto winger, and Arsenal will get the free kick. Rice. Gabriel. Saliba. Back to Gabriel. Round the corner to find Zinchenko out in the left. In space here, Alexander Zinchenko. Nice ball forward, but a slip from Nketiah lets him down. Unfortunate there from him. And Borges tries to carry the ball away from Porto, but Arsenal all over him. And too much, according to the referee, Clement Turpin, because he's given a free kick to Porto. And Jesus, the man that's pleading his innocence. Borges holding his right foot. I mean, he wins the ball, Jesus, but it is the follow-through that the referee's surely given the free kick for. And if anybody doesn't agree, well, come at me, because I've had enough of this in the last couple of days. People saying he got the ball, it's not a foul. Nowhere in the law does it say if you get the ball, it's not a foul. It's a foul if you endanger the opponent. And that's a free kick and a foul, because he did get a touch on the ball, but the follow-through was a bit much from Jesus to a free kick, which Taremi gets the break of the ball after thought he lost control, and Taremi run into trouble, but Porto keep going. Here's Galeno. Back to Wendell. Both have played 114 minutes. And Galeno almost dispossessed, but Odegaard slipped, which allowed him to keep the ball. And Galeno shot from distance. Took a deflection off Gabriel, but luckily into the hands of Raya. In an Arsenal shirt and an Arsenal point of view there. Another free kick's coming Arsenal's way now. Goodness me. Scrappy second half of extra time here. A lot of free kicks. And we have around about 5 minutes of the extra time to go. So it's do or die now if they're going to want to get a winner in play, either of these two teams. So if we stay as it is, we will be heading to penalties. Still time though for it to change. Only takes a moment, only takes a second for it all to go up in the air. Saliba out to the right hand side, nicely taken down by Ben White. Bodies forward, White finds Havertz, heavy touch away. White keeps it alive though. Saka finds it off to Rice and lost possession there, Declan Rice, and they've got it back, Porto, but given away by Zinchenko. And running off his feet there as Havertz commits the foul. And it will be another free kick to Porto and a yellow card coming. Kai Havertz in the book. I have to say, Porto, unbelievable. I cannot praise them enough. It's wonderful what they're doing here. Absolutely wonderful. Don't forget to like, subscribe and turn on post notifications if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much everybody getting involved in the chat tonight, getting involved in the stream. Greatly appreciated. Great to have you with us this evening for an absolute cracker in the Champions League. And still, at this late stage, after 116 and a half minutes, we don't know which way it's going to go. That's the joy. That's what we love about this sport. That's what we love about this competition. Unpredictable right to the very last moment. That's what makes it the best in the world. Free kick to Arsenal here at the back. As Porto tried to carry the ball into the corner flag, they actually commit a foul. So David Raya to take this free kick for Arsenal. Deep in his own half. Uses his strong right foot to fire it up the pitch, but Porto win the first header. Bounce it back and put Arsenal on the back foot, and Gabriel's header is out for a Porto throw. Less than 3 minutes of extra time to go. Arsenal 1, Porto 0 on the night. Aggregate scoreline of 1-1. Porto with a throw in on the halfway line. Arsenal fans still believe. Although Porto have played the ball in behind here. Nice from young Pepe. Young Pepe. Tried to find the ball across, but again broke apart by Declan Rice that time. But caught in possession was Jesus. And Sanchez, he's caught in possession by Zinchenko. And Nketiah carries it away. Gives it off to Havertz. But Havertz runs right into Pepe. The experienced, older Pepe. But Pepe, 41. Let's not understate this. Pepe, 41 years of age. He turned 41 at the end of last month. And he is running around like an 18-year-old. I said 14, that's far too young. But 18-year-old after 118 minutes of intense football in the Champions League. He's inhumane. This is nuts. Not human. Incredible. Another free kick to Arsenal, but inside their own half, and they have to go forward. Time is running out. Around a minute or so to go. There might be a bit of added time onto the extra time, so maybe more than a minute. Here's Rice. Ball over the top. White had made the run, but Porto quick to that. And Costa got a grab on the ball. as Porto try and come forward again. Rice clears it. Havertz up for the header. Saka takes it under control. Spins away from his man and he gets the free kick, Bukayo Saka. And maybe one last delivery coming for Arsenal here. Into the last 20 seconds of the 120 minutes. And tension written all over the faces. Nerves all over the faces of those Arsenal fans in the stands here at the Emirates tonight. And the last few seconds, a penalty shootout is coming. Because they took the free kick, took it short, and they run out of time. Penalties will decide the winner. 30 minutes of extra time and no more played. The referee had enough, and extra time saw no change in the scoreline. What a shock. And again, penalties will decide the winner. Aggregate scoreline of 1-1, 1-0 to Arsenal on the night. Was not enough to get them through, and penalties will be the decider at the Emirates tonight. We will have spot kicks to decide it. What an exciting way to decide the winner. We love a penalty shootout, and you can listen to it right here. Do stay with us. Back in just a couple minutes.
Catch me if I fall.
Welcome back to Champions League Live at the end of the 120 minutes at the Emirates tonight. It is penalties that will decide the winner between Porto and Arsenal. Neither side can be separated after a staggering 210 minutes of football in this round of 16 tie, and penalties will be the decider. Of course, the most exciting way to decide a football game. It can be the most glorious way to win a game, but it can also be the most awful way to lose as well. Well, we'll find out who's going to take penalties first, of course. Going to do the coin toss in a moment, but they're doing their team huddles before that. Both teams to get one last moment to try and revitalise the two teams, to give them one last push to try and get them across the line. Both sides have given their all. Porto, credit has to go to them, because coming into this one tonight, I said it earlier in the game, no one, and I mean no one, would have expected this. Porto coming to this ground, it was more hope than belief. Whether that be that team or outside of that, let's be honest, no one truly believed they could get to this point, but they have. They have. And they have only got themselves to pat on the back, but they need one last push, one last moment, one more push to the across the line in a penalty shootout, which at the best of times is potluck. And it's no guarantees as to who could win it. But someone could make themselves a true hero tonight. Whether it be one of the goalkeepers or someone taking the penalties to score a winning penalty. Someone could be a hero for either of these two teams tonight. The pressure surely is on Arsenal. They're expected, they have been expected the whole way through the tie to go through, to be in the quarterfinals. And Porto have battled them all the way to this point. A shootout will separate the two teams. Let's see. Ready to go then. Clement Turpin done the coin toss. And it looks like Arsenal have won both coin tosses, and I think they're going to take first and are going to be towards their fans They're all their home fans on that side, because the opposite side would have been half and half. But it's to the Arsenal crowd, and I think Arsenal are taking the first penalty. As the goalkeepers will now get their instructions from the referee as they walk towards the goal in that end, on the left-hand side of our to me. And Raya and Costa will get instructions from referee Clement Turpin about the details of penalties, about coming off your line and not wasting any time and delaying anything. All of that usual stuff that we know from shootouts. The referee just ironing out with the two goalkeepers. But this is a huge moment for Arsenal, for Mikel Arteta. Questions have been about Arsenal and whether they can do it in Europe. Mikel Arteta can get that in their favour if they progress tonight. And they are ticking first, and it will be their captain, Martin Odegaard, to step up first. All the pressure on Hill's shoulders to get them off to a scoring start in the shootout. Diogo Costa trying to give Porto the perfect start to the shootout. Arsenal to take first. We will see if Odegaard can convert this one and get Arsenal off to a good start. Here we go. The shootout is ready to get underway. The whistle goes from the referee. Odegaard to step up. Doing the run-up, left-footed. Scores. And the relief in his face and cheering to that crowd. Arsenal have a lead in the shootout. And Arsenal have the lead. Odegaard went to the right. The keeper went to his right, opposite way. And he couldn't save it. He was in the opposite direction. And Odegaard with a lovely, cool penalty. And now up comes Pepe, the young Pepe, for Porto to respond. Raya to try and stop him. Porto fans can't watch. The Arsenal fans jeering behind the goal. Can Pepe get them back level in the shootout? Pepe with a run-up. Right-footed. Scores. 1-1. Again, exact same thing, but the opposite direction. Keeper goes to the right-hand side of the goal, and the ball goes in the opposite side of the nets. 1-1 after one apiece, and Kai Havertz up next for Arsenal. So Kai Havertz scored the winner at the weekend against Brentford in the Premier League for Arsenal here. Can he be involved in trying to get Arsenal over the line in a shootout in the Champions League? Havertz stepping up, takes the run up and sends the keeper the wrong way again and slots it into the bottom right corner. Cool, calm, composed penalty from Kai Havertz. Really good penalties so far. A lot of composure, high pressured moment. And all three penalties have been beautifully taken. And they've caught the goalkeepers out on all three occasions. They've been done in. Next one. Porto up. They try and level it. Again in the shootout. Left-footed penalty. Oh, he's missed it! David Raya! I think he got a hand to it. And Wendell, who's defended excellently well all night, cannot convert from the spot. And David Raya. See it again. Wendell with a left-footed penalty, trying to find the corner. And it comes off the post. And off the back of David Raya's leg. Goodness me. Unlucky for Wendell, but very lucky for Raya. But nonetheless, it's missed. Saka to take this next one for Arsenal to give them a bit of daylight in the shootout. Saka. It's a short run up from him. Saka to take it. Left footed. Lovely penalty. Keeper rooted. No chance for Diogo Costa. Bullet of a penalty from Bukayo Saka. 3-1 to Arsenal in the shootout. And it's a crucial moment now for Porto. Crucial indeed. They don't convert from here. Arsenal could win it on their next penalty. This is a must-not-miss penalty. It's a must-score. And it is Marco Grujic, the former Liverpool player, against Arsenal to try and get Porto back in the shootout. Grujic steps up. Lovely penalty. The keeper gets the right way, Raya. But a lovely penalty. A bit of height behind it. And he converts it for 3-2. Good. Oh, he gets a hand to it there, Raya. Got a right hand to it, but just not enough to keep it out. Arsenal in the driving seat still. Rice to step up. He scores. Arsenal still in firm control. He misses, and Porto would have a chance to level it from their next penalty. But Rice is only thinking about converting. Declan Rice steps up and slots it. Lovely. 4-2. High quality penalty from Declan Rice. Straight down the middle. Straight into the back of the net. 4-2 on the shootout. And this is it. This is another must-score penalty. And it's Wenderson Galeno. You could not write this script. Porto won the first leg from his 96th minute winner, Wenderson Galeno. And if he doesn't convert from the spot, Porto will be dumped out of the Champions League. A must-score penalty from Wenderson Galeno. He misses, or David Raya saves, and Arsenal will be into the quarterfinals. He scores, and we continue. Galeno stepping up. Wenderson Galeno. Saved by Raya. Arsenal are in the quarterfinals. What a script. What a story. What a penalty shootout. You couldn't write it. Wenderson Galeno, the man who gave Porto belief coming into the second leg, who won that first leg for Porto in the last dying seconds, is the man who misses the penalty. Two huge saves from David Raya has saved Arsenal and got them through in the shootout. Wonderful goalkeeping. So many times in shootouts, goalkeepers can be the heroes, and David Raya is Arsenal's hero tonight. Respect from Sergio Conceição to Mikel Arteta, and Arsenal are into the last eight of the Champions League for the first time in 14 years. Porto were the last team they put out in the round of 16. Porto have been beaten again by Arsenal at this stage. Incredible. Wonderful moment for Arsenal. High pressure, high tempo. And they done it. Huge. That hoodoo of losing at this stage seemingly over. And it's all David Raya. Two very wonderful saves to deny Porto and to gift it through for Arsenal, who scored all four of their penalties, and Raya made two huge saves to deny Porto twice. And what a finale at the Emirates Stadium. Porto had the chance to believe coming into the shootout, but it is David Raya that's the hero. David Raya, who has done it for Arsenal. Arteta fist bumps the crowd in passionate belief. Arsenal are through to the last eight, into the quarterfinals. What an incredible moment. What an incredible night. One that these Arsenal fans will not forget for a long time yet. Celebrate all you like, because this is what football is made for. This is why we love this sport. This is why football and the Champions League is the best on the planet. Final result from the Emirates Stadium. After 120 minutes, Arsenal and Porto could not be separated. 1-0 to the Gunners on the night, 1-1 on aggregates. It came down to a shootout, which Arsenal won by 4 penalties to 2. Arsenal are through to the quarterfinals. Fantastic night for them. Good night.